A very good evening, everybody. Nice to have you company wherever you're tuning in, all around Australia or indeed the world on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Welcome to night 4 of week 4 of term 2 for 2023, season 13 of GSRC competition. And you're looking at the Rd-4 Motor Centre in Norway tonight. The venue first up for leg 1 of the doubleheader. Of course, this is round 4 of the production car series, followed by round 4 of the Blackout Electrical Solutions Porsche Elite Cup, and we'll be taking you to the Silverstone circuit of the United Kingdom for that one. I'm looking forward to it immensely. But first up, very hazy looking Norway for you this evening as we get set for production cars. And it's an all-European affair tonight because it's in both senses of the word, because it's a Norwegian circuit and it's a French car. The Renault Clio, ladies and gentlemen, on cue. Beautifully done, Grant Gill. Yes, the Renault Clio having its first hit out here tonight as part of this series. The fourth of 5 cars that you'll see on a rotational basis throughout the course of the season. Weeks 4 and 9 for the Renault Clio. Next week, the Toyota 86 launches into life in this competition. A very small field, either a reflection of the love of the circuit or the car. I'm not sure which one just yet. Grant Gill, good evening to you. Looking forward to this immensely. Team Whittaker at the top of the timesheets, as we've come to expect. One is Mario, the other is Luigi. There they are. Very nicely done. I'm going to have to ask CW when he joins us in the booth post-race to clarify why he drew the green straw and Brendan the red, but nevertheless, of course, Mario very much a flavour of the month at the moment with the Super Mario Brothers movie out in cinemas around Australia at the moment. I'm actually more looking forward to the John Farnham one, quite frankly, in a couple of weeks' time. Grant, good evening to you. Week 4, can you believe it? We're almost at the end of it already.
Hello, mate. Yes, yes, indeed. I think perhaps the lack of love is a combination of both the little Clio and the track together. But interesting track, short and sharp. A lot of vertical rise and fall. So that's the end of quali. Looks like we've got our grid set, and we probably should have a quick look at a little bit of stats about the track.
Yeah, why not? It's 3.15 kilometres, so, you know, three-fifths of you-know-what, ladies and gentlemen. There's not much to this track. 2 o'clock in the afternoon, clock moving twice as fast as it would in the real world. 10th of May 2023, it is actually the 11th. Again, that's an ongoing issue that we can't sort. 81% humidity, 29 degrees the trackside bitumen temperature, the 18 the ambient for you tonight, partly cloudy conditions. And, yeah, 3.15 kilometres, so it's a tight little circuit. Average speed not very high, but a couple of genuine overtaking opportunities and a challenge elsewhere. But there's the grid for you. It's a standing start tonight. Chris and Brendan Whittaker on the front row, Sam Chapman, Adam Lavis the second row, Ryan Tegel and Jared Gilbert the third row, Anthony Adshead and Gary Cousins from row 4, Matt Schmidtke and Aidan Schultz from row 5. From row 6, it'll be Kurt Chapman and Paul Nichols. Row 7, Ben Woods, Phil King. Row 8, Sean Rees, Greg Padgett. Row 9, Joe Baldwin, Philip Howe. And row 10, Clint Collard. They didn't even wait for the 2-minute countdown. They're off and racing, ladies and gentlemen. Thursday night motorsport on the platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Beautiful conversion off the line from pole position for Chris Whittaker, who leads the field to turn 1. Second place there, you'll see, is Brendan Whittaker as the field safely navigates its way round the first corner and begins the run across the back straight. There's Adam Lavis tucked in behind Ryan Tegel, who made a beautiful start up 2 spots already. Anthony Adshead up 2 as well. Sam Chapman, the big loser off this line, dropped 3 spots. Ben Wood gained 3. Through they go.
Spinner.
Contact gone. Trouble. Wide and off the road goes Sam Chapman. He's lost 8 spots in a sector. 8 spots in 4 corners. It has not been a good start of the night for our broadcast colleague. Joe Baldwin further back in the pack with Philip King applying the pressure there at the moment. We've got Clint Collard, a non-starter. So we're down to 18 already, ladies and gentlemen. The field continues to deplete before your eyes. Some honest feedback earlier in the week, Grant Gill, actually, and it was encouraged to be used as ammo for the broadcast by Chris Whittaker, because you know he's never backwards and coming forwards. And he said to me, not sure if we're going to get there, because he was talking about going to Warwick tonight. He's obviously held off until first thing tomorrow morning for the historic event out there. He said, initial thoughts of the Clio, I'd rather be driving the Legacy Falcon. And you know what I mean by that. The thing is a complete heap of SH1T. So essentially, yes, CW, a big fan of the Renault Clio. You can read into that as much as you like. Hello from Cook. Bosnia, if you don't mind. The great man is chiming in on his international exploits. I did see him in France, and then I think Italy, I do believe as well. But Bosnia, that must be a lovely part of the world.
Well, he's
if
close
it's on Angus Cook's bucket list.
Yeah, there's a little.
Off we go.
Yeah, that was
Ben Woods.
Yeah, these little
Matt
things.
Schmidt moving through the 8.
Tank slapper, that one. He just got a little bit loose, tried to grab it, and off she went. But it's certainly Angus is closer to Norway than we are. But hope he's having a splendid time and things warming up a little bit in that northern hemisphere.
Of course, yes, both Grant Gill and Angus Cook have enjoyed some international travel so far this year, using up all their GSRC broadcast annual leave. It's very nice to see. Here's Sam Chapman in 12th place at the moment. Angus had a little bit more up his sleeve than Grant. That's why Grant's already back. Chris Whitaker and Brendan Whitaker are leading us away at the moment. This is a good little battle. And this one right here, 11th, Sam Chapman, right in the thick of it with Paul Nicholls and Sean Rees and Kurt Chapman.
Paul Nicholls
either
running
side
the
of him.
7-11.
And good to see Nico back as well.
It is indeed. I hope I don't jinx him with this, because he doesn't need any help around the racetrack.
No, that's right.
The GSRC, he's always getting in trouble, be it his own or someone else's. But if he didn't have bad luck, he'd have no luck at all, as Johnny Herbert would say. Yeah.
I must admit as well, now that Nico is in the booth, when he's done here, does he mind going and getting me a Slurpee, please? That would be good. I know there's an increase in price. They're 50 cents dearer these days, but they always go down a treat. Brendan Whitaker, the fastest lap of the race thus far, 1:33.72. Based on those numbers, Grant, we will get some overtime tonight, but we will get 10 laps here in this opening race. 1:33.72, yeah, so they're not going to chew up 90 seconds. So 13 and a half gets you to 9 laps if you're rounding it back to 90 seconds. They're not going to chew up 90 seconds in that 9 laps of, 3-4 seconds here and there.
He's wide.
Nico's wide. He's opened the door. Contact. See ya. How lucky was Sean Rees to save it, and how lucky was Nico that it was only a hip and shoulder moment, then he was able to correct it.
I think the front-wheel drive has helped him there. If it was rear-wheel drive, it would have pitted him beautifully, but hung in there and around he went. This is Anthony Adshead and Gary Cousins having a good battle.
So Adshead is 6th place at the moment. Cousins 7th. They're both chasing Jared Gilbert here. Gilbert in the silver car just ahead of him there.
Very, very shiny green, candy apple green. He looks like exactly that, a candy apple that's been dunked in all the sugar. But nice work. Of course, Anthony Adshead, brother-in-law to at least Chris Whitaker, and I would imagine by extension Brendan, but that may not be the case.
True. No, well, actually, no, because Brendan is Chris's brother, so yeah, I think that'd work.
Well,
that would work.
Unless it's Chris's wife's
brother. Yeah,
Yeah, so hence my
let's not delve too much into... This isn't an episode of Who Do You Think You Are, Grant?
Nor Home and Away.
No. Although, that being said, the other's in the middle of a triple at the moment. Who Do You Think You Are is reserved for Tuesday nights, and we're not actually on air on a Tuesday night at the moment. There's already some boxes being ticked on your bingo card just quietly. Chris Whitaker leading the way from Brendan. Ryan Tegel there in 3rd. Adam Lavis is 4th. Jared Gilbert, Anthony Adshead, Gary Cousins, Matt Schmidtke, Kurt Chapman and Sam Chapman. Then Paul Nicholls is 11th. Sean Rees, Joe Baldwin. Then Greg Padgett and Ben Woods, Phil King, Aidan Schultz and Philip Howe make up the field. Philip Howe has already transited pit lane once and is bringing up the tail of the field about 3/4 of a lap down on where CW is at the moment. CW 1:33.47 last time round, fastest number of the night thus far. And we're riding on board with Adam Lavis now all over the back of Ryan Tegel, who made that jump from 5th to 3rd in the opening lap, has not looked back. Down the main straight we go. The gap from the Whitakers back is 3.6 seconds. they're almost like the Matty Denchers of the entree of Thursday Night Motorsport, aren't they? So, and Denchi will be up in action very, very shortly. He didn't appeal his penalty last week, so therefore it stood. And Denchi was not the winner at Le Mans, despite pulling out all stops to try and be the winner at Le Mans.
Yeah,
Whittaker.
Interesting race that was. These little things, and this corner in particular, you're trying to brake as you're turning and coming down the hill, and it's so easy for the back just to get away, especially in these little front-wheel drive cars. But Brendan closing this gap down a bit, down to about half a second.
Doing a nice job of it as well.
Yeah, tricky combination of switchbacks through there. Some of these curbs you can take plenty of, and some not so much. It's a little less forgiving. But another hard one down here. Downhill braking, get it turned in, and then, nice big lock up on the inside as it hitches its leg up like a dog seeing a light post. And just that inside rear lifting up as you're heavy on the brakes and applying the anchors. Phil King has had some misadventure.
Uh-oh. Sliding left at turn 1. I mean, he's pulled it up, but they're obviously not carrying enough speed to worry about the Armco. No. He's pulled it up just nicely there and dropped down to 17th in the process. Aidan Schultz now up into 16th.
Here we go.
Now 3 wide, if you don't mind, which brings me to my next point. Gary Cousins is 7th. Who wants to go deepest under brakes to turn 1? Gilbert for the moment. Said tucks in, Cousins behind him. Now, this is interesting because remember what we do at the end of race 1 here, Grant. We invert the top 10, which is half the field tonight. So at the moment, Kurt Chapman's in the invert position, Sam Chapman alongside. This will be interesting because, again, as I've said, this circuit not particularly the easiest for overtaking. Although that being said, that is car dependent. This car lends itself to good, close, tight-knit racing, as you can see. So we might actually have a chance of seeing some real hip and shoulder, biff and barge, door-to-door stuff in this second race with these guys working their way through the field. But it will be very interesting to see how long it takes to work your way through from 10th to first in the case of Chris and Brendan Whittaker, and who might be able to make the most of their opportunity presented to them to start further up the order. I'm thinking the likes of Sam and Kurt. Remember, Sam started 3rd in this race, has dropped down to 8th, just hasn't had any luck at all tonight in terms of pace and track position and other factors. So now we wait to see what he can make of race 2. We're more than halfway through race 1 now here for you.
This is
9 minutes, 30 seconds gone, and this is lap 7 now.
Yeah, closest battle on the track is Ryan Piggle and Adam Maverick. So Adam doing a good job in here. He seems to be able to find that Castrol livery for absolutely any car that you put his bum in the seat of, with the Bailey ladders, of course, supporting that. So that would have been a quick little decal perhaps stuck over the top of that. But Adam's putting plenty of pressure on, and Ryan's had a few little moments through the course of the laps. So we'll keep seeing how Adam can just stoke the fire a little bit and try and get Ryan to usher him through.
4.8 the margin to the two Whittakers at the moment, and they've got 6 seconds back to, you just saw them at the top of the screen there, Gary Cousins, who's now got by Jared Gilbert and also Anthony Adshead. So Cousins has found his way through, up into 5th place, up 3 spots. This is how we did it.
Point of it. Yeah, this will be a little wiggle in here, no doubt. Just run it wide. Yep,
wide.
You need that error. You really do, regardless of what's going on. And that is an error-inducing situation on the track.
And it always seems to be that corner.
Yeah.
Quite prevalent for it. Here we go. Chapman trying to find a way by. Oh, jeez, boys, come on. What are we doing here? Anthony Adshead under all sorts of pressure from Sam Chapman at the moment. They've gapped Kurt Chapman and Matt Schmidtke. We will have updates as the night goes on from what's likely to be a very disgruntled Melbourne Storm supporter, a la me, from the NRL match between the Storm and Broncos. The Storm wouldn't have beat Cessnock last week, so we'll wait and see how that all plays out. Yes, we are watching race 1 of the Red-O Clios in the production cars at the moment. We've got the Porsche Cup still to come from the Silverstone circuit in England. Back to the old traditional 40-minute sprint tonight, so we're looking forward to that and the earlier finish that goes with it, especially for me. I'm off to the airport tomorrow morning. Wish me luck. Both patience, tolerance, and I guess a few other things are going to be put to the test there tomorrow morning, dealing with Brisbane peak hour traffic.
For a flight, Zach, or for a pickup?
A pickup. Yeah, Mum's coming to town for Mother's Day this weekend, Grant. So I'm excited about that.
And down the inside. Sorry.
Down the inside, Sam Chapman to get by Anthony Adshead.
Oh, has he done
Nicely
it?
done. Oh, trouble. Turned and gone. Into the wall. Okay, you can hit the Armco in these cars. But only with a fair bit of assistance. Anthony Adshead, he might have a case to answer for here on the back of this. He left the door wide open. Chapman said, thanks very much. I'm coming down on the inside. Let's have a look at the exit.
Little touch. Another little touch. Yeah.
Bang. Yeah, that wasn't fair play, I wouldn't have thought. Chris would be proud of that.
Yes, he would. Yes, he would.
Give it. It's a green car at all. I'm just looking at the similarities. There we go. Oh, no more contact.
Tegelin.
Adam Laver's trying to get by on Ryan Tegel, but he yields. He redresses. Adam had it crossed up coming through and used Ryan Tegel as a stop marker. Oh, geez. It's all happening here, isn't it?
It is. As soon as these
the
little
elbows
things get
are out
close.
on lap 9.
Yeah. Here's Nico. What's Nico done? A little bit of an off-track coming up. He might have just cut the corner. No. He's... oh, Nico. Sorry I showed that. I thought he was heading for the pits in a non-pit stop race.
Well, Sam Chapman is headed for the pits.
Yeah.
Chapman's in and out. So Chapman's now lost 14 spots in all of that. Not the best night at the office for Chapman.
Well, Aidan Schultz is just blinking on and off, I think, showing us his errors there. Greg Padgett and Trucker Baldwin, they're having a good ding-dong here as well. Some of our more mature gentlemen, in years certainly, having a good old dig. Joe's gone wide. Oh, look, the curse is working a treat.
Absolutely it is. The curse is back in a big way tonight. There's no doubt about that.
Indeed it is.
Oh dear, how good. Hope you're enjoying what you've seen so far of Thursday Night Motorsport, and hope you'll stick around with us here, ladies and gentlemen. Plenty to be excited about as the night unfolds.
So now Nico joins this party of 4. Aidan Schultz, Paul Nichols, Joe Baldwin and Greg Padgett. We'll have to get a larger table by the window for the gentlemen.
I think that's a good idea, actually, and just make sure that the table service is included, so that they don't have to move to get get their drink orders processed. Chris Whittaker and Brendan Whittaker lead this one. We're on to lap 10. The white flag is out. Barney should be doing his job. I'm not sure where he is located at the Ritz-Carlton Motor Centre, probably somewhere obscure, and not actually positioned in a flagpole. That seems to be common occurrence, common theme, common practice. Here's Chris Whittaker doing a nice job of controlling this race, has done from the outset. Should be another win notched up in the production car series for CW in just a few moments' time. Now look at this. Greg Padgett in 13th. All over the back of Joe Baldwin. Paul Nichols is there as well. Aidan Schultz is blinking in and out.
Pick up the
Some
pieces,
netcode
Nico.
issues there, potentially, for Aidan Schultz. Joe's very deep, but he contains it. He keeps it on track. Very nicely done. Padgett moves across to cover off Nichols. Schultz is still there, but blinking. Packet loss could be looming for Schultzy. We hope that's not the case. Chris Whittaker's going to bring it round onto the main straight and take the checkered flag victory in race 1 to CW. It's a Whittaker Motorsport 1-2. Very nicely done. Luigi leads Mario. That's not how it normally goes.
Oh,
normally
look at all
Mario's
of
the
this.
cover man.
Schultz coming through on
Now,
Nichols. This will end in
so
tears.
Schultz and Nico side by side. You're right, it will, because they're side by side, and Nico's not going to get a clear shot of where Schultz is if he keeps blinking in and out like that. Ryan Tegel 3rd, Adam Lavis 4th. That's all confirmed. Here they come to the last corner. Greg Paget wide, opens the door potentially, but Nico's too far back. They'll come across the line.
Oh, Nico,
In
where
that
are you
order,
off
I
to?
would imagine. Oh, no, Nico, where are you off to? He's off to the races. He's now in a battle with Schulte for position. Schulte might pip him here. Schulte, no, he misses out by 0.03 of a second.
I think
No, in all of that. No,
Nico was off to Bosnia.
I think so. Yeah, exactly. Gilbert fifth, Cousins sixth. That's head with a case to answer for. Chapman, Rees, Schmidtke, Woods, Baldwin, Paget, Nichols. Then Schultz, King, and Chapman got across in 17th position after that 2.13 second pit stop, and Philip Howe will be the last of the finishers across the line. Barney's actually doing his job from a flag stand for this week. Oh, nice change of pace. Nice change of pace. Subtle digs at Barney should be on your bingo card as well, Grant. So we've ticked that one off for the night.
Absolutely.
Right, that's a good start.
All right, let's have a look at those results.
There they are. Chris Whitaker by a tenth of a second in the end from Brendan. They left it tight, didn't they? Chapman, Lavis, Tagle, Gilbert, Adshead, Cousins, Schmidtke, Schultz, Chapman, Nichols, and Woods, King, Rees, Paget, Baldwin, Howe, and Collard. I know that they're the qualifying results, Grant. You got the quality results up on screen. Let's get rid of them, please.
Wait, all right, let's have
I wondered why the margins were so tight.
We got another minute and a half. Let's go
There
and
they
see
are.
how we go.
The two Whitakers, then Tagle, Lavis.
Very
That sounds
similar,
better.
yeah.
Gilbert, Cousins, Adshead, Chapman, Rees, Schmidtke, Woods, Baldwin. That was where I thought, hang on, that doesn't sound right, because I knew Baldwin was a little bit further up than 17th.
Yeah.
Paget, Schultz, King, Chapman, Howe, Nichols, and Collard, the finishing order there.
Paul
nicely.
would have got a slowdown from running all the way out there and didn't clear it before he crossed the line, so that would have been a significant addition to his score, probably about 10 seconds, I would think. And I'll tell you what Clint Collard's...
It's okay, Nico. The only way is forward.
Tell you what Clint Collard's probably done. He did the same with TCRs. He just hopped into the server to see how it was going and just have a quick little look at it. And with the TCRs, he thought, oh, this is a bit of fun. I'll have a go at this. But clearly, his opinion differed this evening.
Yes. Not enjoying the Renault Clio as much, and he's not the only one, judging by the amount of absentees.
Same
opinion of car, regardless of result. Yes, I thought that might be the case, CW. We're looking forward to getting your analysis in just a few moments, but at the same time, yes, it's almost like a Brenton Hobson comment, isn't it? He doesn't like the car, but he's netting the results all the same.
Yes.
So, yes, Brenton Hobson, Chris Whitaker. There's a few people responsible for those sort of quips. Very nice. All right, we're getting ready for race 2. Ryan Shaw, this is so hard. Okay, interesting.
He's clearly having difficulties with something. It might be calculus or something like that. Or perhaps that's Ryan Tiggles.
I reckon that's Ryan Tegel, actually. But at the same time, he can't really complain because he had a good result there in that opening race. It's interesting, isn't it? They're all whinging and moaning, but they're in the top 3. I don't get it. Yeah. I don't get it. Have your medicine, boys. Cement is the recommendation. Let's rock and roll for race 2.
6 o'clock in the evening.
Oh, lovely time of the evening. Have a look at that, Grant.
21
daylight still. What a beautiful, bloody, progressive, civilised place or part of the world Norway is. Observing daylight saving. What a beautiful idea.
All right, I'm
shame a few people up. Shame a few people up here haven't got the bloody memo about it. Matt Schmidtke and Sean Rees on the front row. Kurt Chapman and Anthony Adshead the second row. Gary Cousins, Jared Gilbert the third. Adam Lavis, Ryan Tackle the fourth. Brendan Whitaker and Chris Whitaker from row 5. And we are getting set with 84% humidity, 18-degree ambient temperature, 21-degree track temperature for the second and final one of round 5 of the production car series. The Renault Clios from Roots-Kogan. And Matt Schmidtke, a beautiful start with that little tip of the hat to Alain Menu's British touring car livery from all those years ago with the distinct red yellow and blue on the bonnet there as they make their way through turn 1. Can they all scramble through? The answer is just.
Yeah, there was a bit of a squeeze on Adam Lavis there. Big squeeze, in fact. But these little beasts just thundering around here. They make an interesting noise for the little car that they are. But someone posted early on when the Clio was announced that of a real Clio Cup race, and there was about 60 of them. And my goodness, it was good racing. in the real world.
I'm going to join Motorsport.com on Facebook with a shout out. Yuki Tsunoda, his birthday's today. There you go. Formula One, of course, back not this weekend, next weekend with the old San Marino Grand Prix at the Imola circuit. So looking forward to that. Emilia Romagna, they call it these days. I mean, why do they have to complicate things just for the sake of it? I mean, that sounds like typical Formula One these days.
Well, it's due to the naming rights sponsors, very much like the Interlagos is no longer the what did it used to be? Brazilian Grand Prix.
It used to be called the Brazilian Grand Prix, and now they call it the Sao Paulo Grand Prix.
Right.
Like, I mean, they're just messing with tradition, and I don't like it. But that's the Netflix era of Formula One for you. Let's continue on here before I get in any trouble. Grant, Matt Schmidt, the leader.
Did you see what Miami did with the driver announcements? LL Cool J, horrible.
When did they become NASCAR and IndyCar? I mean, that's it. And that's the thing. One of the drivers, I think it might have been Fernando, nailed the point. But if they're going to do it there, they've got to do it everywhere because all the fans are the same. You know, the events don't differ. The events are obviously, scheduled in the calendar the way that they are, and they're all different tracks, etc., and so forth. But the fans are the same, so they deserve the same show. Consistency, if nothing else, and I'm all for it as well. But if the general consensus was that they didn't like it, so let's hope that they do away with that Americanism.
Well, there was a car around in the background.
Matt Schmidtke leading from Sean Rees and Anthony Adshead, and Paul Nichols has found the Armco once more. Clint Collard did not start the race. Aidan Schultz has not started this race after being out there in race one. So Nico could be parked up and done for the night at the top end of town. However, in the meantime, Matt Schmidt continues to control the race from Sean Rees and Anthony Adshead, Kurt Chapman, Adam Lavis and Jared Gilbert, then Ryan Tegel, Brendan Whitaker and Chris Whitaker, all in a big freight train at the moment. So whoever blinks first will be hung out to dry here, I would imagine. We saw the floodgates open a couple of times in GT3 the other night.
Nice. And
when the racing packs were this long, this congested. Actually, I'll tell you what, if you want to see elongated freight train racing, Grant, go and check out the replay on Stan Sport of last week's Formula E race from Monaco.
There's someone wide up front.
Gracious me.
Sam Chapman set the fast lap of the race. Sean Rees has had a moment there and taken it well while he missed his braking point at not that one, this one. Sorry.
Sean Rees hasn't had a great night at the office.
No, so he's just missed his braking mark there, and you cannot get it turned in.
He was. Let's have a look here. He's now dropped down to 11th. He finished 9th in race one. He's now very much on the cusp of doing the same in race two. But he had a chance to do so much more with the invert and hasn't done so. So he hasn't capitalised on an opportunity there. Matt's opened up the door and let Lavis, Gilbert, Tegel, Whitaker and Whitaker all up an extra spot. Gary Cousins now dropping down 4 spots. Sam Chapman, the fastest lap of the race, 1:34.08. And now here goes Brendan Whitaker and also Kurt Chapman. Chapman on Lavis. Chapman on Lavis, and Lavis is having none of that.
Oh, look out behind.
Lavis back up on the outside for the next corner, but covers it off beautifully. Very nicely done from Adam Lavis, controlling this train beautifully. In 3rd place at the moment, but they're 2.5 seconds down the road from Schmidtke and Adshead. Remember as well, Grant, there will be a splash and dash somewhere along the line in this race. A gambling man, I'm thinking 16 laps this time round, based on the fact that we're not smack bang on that 90-second marker, so we're a little bit slower than that. 16 times 1.5 gets you to 24. So carry the overtime from that and also the splash and dash. I think 16's a fair bet in this race, just for the sake of your Zaculator bingo card number. So Anthony Adshead following Schmidtke at the moment and doing a nice job of it. Lavis, Chapman, Tegel and Gilbert. Tegel gets by Gilbert. Very nicely done. Tegel by Gilbert. Covered it off around the outside. They're both wide. In fact, Whitaker's wide as well. Here comes CW. 3 for the price of 1. Up to 5th. Takes Brendan with him. Here comes Tegel back down. Whitaker's inside, but Whitaker's having none of that.
Cousins in the mix as well. And
Gary Cousins up the outside. No, not quite. So Tegel, the one that got hung out to dry and all of that. Chapman and Gilbert. So Gilbert particularly losing out 4 spots there. And Chris Whitaker 3 for the price of 1.
It's that area you need.
Oh, how good was that?
Oh, look at Cousins, look at Tegel, look at Chris Whitaker. They're all over the place, these boys. Gilbert's in there as well. Sean Rees on the back of that pack. So it's a concertina
I don't know
we're
what they're
expecting.
whinging about. This is terrific racing.
Yeah, it was a concertina we're expecting. It looked like Cousins up the inside of Chapman there. Or Tegel's involved
on the
as well.
outside as well. Granton getting hung out to dry there. Chapman down his inside. Cousins is up the outside. Cousins trying to find a way by, but they keep forcing him to go the long way round. Adam Lavis 133.93, fastest lap of the race thus far. Gilbert and Baldwin into pit lane. Nichols is out of the race. I think Baldwin's about to join him.
He's been in there for some time, yeah.
So Gilbert comes in. He gets out of the train. He gets out of the madness, and that could be a leg up at the back end of this. That could be the way to go.
Kurt Chapman leading Chris from Brendan. Chris is taking he's forcing the point. In he goes, and Brendan will be the take the advantage of that as well, I should think. Oh, Chris,
I would imagine so.
A little bit wide, a little bit late.
Yeah, he's trying to hang Chapman out there so Whitaker can find a way through and hasn't been able to do it. So this is teamwork and gamesmanship from both these men. Gone!
No, he's hung on to it.
Whitaker on Chapman, but that gives Chris a little bit of a leg up. And Chapman very lucky to survive. Down the inside comes Brendan now. Second time lucky? No. So he's still trying to find a way by on the exit of the corner. Got him. Chapman balked a little bit on the exit. Bogged it down, and Brendan wasn't waiting for a third invitation. He takes the second one.
Yeah, the advantage of these little front-wheel drive cars, you saw he got tapped in the back, but they call them bum draggers for a very good reason. You just put your foot down, it pulls the back in line, and off you go. But Cousins, Chapman now into the pits as well. Really tricky pit entry as well. Very easy to put it into the wall off the long corner there. Reese Gosner wishing he was a part of this. Can always do that anytime you like. He's probably got some other things on. I think Reese is one of our guys in the Porsche Cup, is he not? Maybe doing some practice there. The Silverstone and the Porsches will be some sort of combination tonight, I think.
I think so. The racing we've seen of the Porsches so far this season has been red hot. No doubt about that. Looking forward to seeing what Silverstone delivers tonight. Chapman and Howe into pit lane at the end of that previous lap. We're on lap 6, ladies and gentlemen. 9 minutes gone, or thereabouts. Adshead, Lavis, Whitaker, they've all caught up now, particularly Adam Lavis. Adam Lavis on a charge here. Anthony Adshead and Matt Schmidtke under pressure now from the 23. And then just a little bit of a gap back to Chris Whitaker and Brendan Whitaker, Sam Chapman, then Ryan Tegel, Sean Rees. So Kurt Chapman and all that opted to stop at the end of the previous lap, and that's what gave Brendan the opportunity to get on by and consolidate the spot for the moment. And now it's a case of working out where everyone slides in to the equation on the completion of pit stops, what we like to call corrected order. Well, at the moment, Matt Schmidtke holds up front running. Adam Lavis, oh jeez. Adam Lavis gives Anthony Adshead a little bit of a tap on the way into pit lane.
Yeah, he wasn't expecting him to pull up quite so soon. Adam had made up 1.5 seconds on the previous lap to those guys. I saw he was about 2 back, and then he was right with them. But I expect the front two were having some fisticuffs, and Adam thought, I'll have a big piece of this.
They're all in, Grant. Adshead, Lavis, Cousins, Padgett, King and Woods, all in at the end of lap 6. Just Schmidtke, Whitaker, Chapman, Tegel and Rees remain on the racetrack. So the top 6 yet to stop. The order is cleansed. For some reason on my pit order here, Aidan Schultz and Clint Collard just swapped around for no particular reason at all, because neither one of them started the bloody race. Paul Nichols out of business, Joe Baldwin out of business, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah, and we've got Brendan Whitaker with the fastest lap of the race, 1:33.288. These boys will really be wanting to get a hustle on here. Big gap back after the pit stops between Sean Rees. There's 24.5 seconds back to Adam Lavis. So there's a good whack of time spent in the pits.
yeah, they do lose a little bit, don't they? No doubt about that. It's not a terrible amount of time sitting there stationary, but it is a slow pit lane. It's a long pit lane.
And Adam's got Bayad's head in the pit sequence, so he's done a good job there. Let's have a look at their pit times and see.
Covered that off quite nicely, actually. It was only 0.6 of a second, but there was bugger all between them.
Right,
in fact, they literally came in as one conjoined car, with Adam SMSing Ad's head on the way through. Chris Whittaker gets by Brendan Whittaker, holding off second at the moment. Brendan Whittaker third. Sam Chapman, Ryan Tegel, Sean Rees. All in behind them. Matt Schmidtke, the race leader. 1 second the advantage that he enjoys at the moment. And CW is zeroing in, narrowing in on that all the time. And bringing Brendan with him for the fun of it.
Oh, look at the time he's making on him. Second lap. We don't need a lap predictor. We know Chris will be right with him by the top of the course.
Exactly. In what we're anticipating will be a 16-lapper. So this is half race distance this time by. And, of course, making allowances for a pit lane transit at the end of the lap as well. Whether they come this time by or next time by, we'll wait and see. But everyone else has been in this time by. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a third of the field essentially pitted that time round. Round they come on to the back end of this lap now. Schmidtke, Whittaker and Whittaker. They're into the final sector. They're working their way around. Yep, Schmidtke's not going to hold onto this lead spot much longer. The two Whittakers jump into the lane. They throw a little bit of a dummy. They come to pit lane at the same time. Schmidtke will get the lead another lap by virtue of the fact that he's raced on a little bit longer. So too have Sam Chapman and Ryan Tegel and Sean Rees as well.
Really good move by Chris there, because he could have lost a good couple of seconds there going through with all of that, but he just decided he'll hop out. The time he was making on Schmidtke was hand over fist, as they like to say, and he'll come out well in front of him, I should think. Just showing Brendan at having crashed here, so he's just gone wide. This will just be him coming in. No, that's a little while ago. That was lap 8. So, yeah, unusual.
Well, we're on lap 9 now, so that's a fair point. And Chris has got out ahead of Brendan, the margin a second between those two on corrected order. Chris Whittaker, the race leader.
Oh, look at Lavis.
Chapman, Tegel, and also Rees there. Yet to stop, and Lavis is giving Whittaker the big hurry up.
Right with him.
So Adam Lavis right there. Third on corrected order.
I think he's found his mojo in these little things.
I think so, but the unknown here is, where does Ryan Tegel squeeze into the equation? Where does he slot back in? Given that he hasn't stopped yet, Grant, we're about to find out.
Yeah, well, the gap from Sean Rees back to Chris Whittaker, previously the gap between the pitters and non-pitters was 24 seconds. Tegel's in this time. Sean Rees has only got 19.5 seconds over these guys. He's the last of not pitted. So Tegel's in, Schmidtke and Chapman have gone round again.
So it just goes to show that you didn't have to necessarily jump in early, but the bulk of the field have opted to do so. Rees, Chapman, Schmidtke the exceptions. Going on to lap 10. Across the line we go, and 10 minutes left on the clock.
Oh, that looked like a little hiccup for Tegel coming out of the pits. And
my numbers is 7 laps from here, Grant.
Copy that. So something's gone on with Tegel in that pit stop. Oh, and that's who's that? That's just gone wide back there. Trying to pick it up. The orange and black.
Yeah, you're not getting as many off-track alerts tonight thanks to the excess bitumen out there. The amount of runoff area.
So I'll just see if I can see. It looked to me like something had happened with Ryan as he was leaving the pits. Oh no, he's just under pit limiter, so no dramas there. I'm seeing things again.
All good. You and I both, mate.
Chapman in now.
So Chapman comes in. Schmidtke and Rees continue on. That's another lap done. Chris Whittaker, Brendan Whittaker, Adam Lavis, the best of the rest here. They should cover off Sam Chapman this time around.
And I can just hear Chapman pulling away, so won't be a lot in it. Oh, yes, it will. It's quite a long way out there. So, is that Lavis getting by Brendan Whittaker?
Oh, Adam Lavis, nicely done. I'm eating a sandwich. The Whittaker Motorsport duo, not side by side on the racetrack or following one another on the ladder as they normally would be on the leaderboard here.
So Adam got
Lavis got the job done coming into the main straight.
Yeah, good indeed.
So, again, the slower the car, the better Adam Lavis seems to enjoy it. The more challenging the car, the more he seems to enjoy it. It's not over, but he's still managing to cover off Brendan. And all the meanwhile, that's giving Chris Whittaker some tremendous breathing space. He's stretched out to 2.5 seconds over these guys. The advantage, Brendan trying to wedge it down the inside. Can't do it. On the exit, though, let's have a look. Can he get it done this time? No, because he's on the outside for the next corner. Then he's on the outside again. And Lavis is still there and he's inside. Lavis holds on for now.
Whittaker trying to go
apologies
wide.
from my end as well, folks, because my there's a frog creeping into my throat at the moment, so I'm struggling a little bit here.
Oh, there goes.
Now, Whittaker, beautiful down the inside. Runs it wide. Lavis will get him back. Lavis will get him back. Oh, this is good topsy-turvy toing and throwing right here. Onto the main straight they'll come. Another lap gone. That's 11. 5 to go with 7 minutes on the clock. Just a quick update from Amy Park in Melbourne. Melbourne leading Brisbane 6-0 at the moment after 15 and a half minutes of Thursday night football. Good to have the NRL on a Thursday night. Going live out on radio on Triple M in Melbourne tonight, which is good to see. But they're starting to embrace the other code down there. And if I wasn't broadcasting here with my mate Grant Gill, that's exactly what I'd be doing, is watching that game. Even the home and away triple header would be on the back burner until after the game was complete. But that's another story for another day. Schmidtke, Rees, Whittaker, Lavis, Whittaker, the top 5 at the moment. So again, Adam Lavis still managing to cover off Brendan, but not without some serious pressure being applied. Ryan Teggle's come back out and into the fold here in 8th place behind Sam Chapman, ahead of Gary Cousins, who's got Jared Gilbert for company. There's plenty of battles out there on the racetrack right now, including this one. This is the hot one. This is alive and well. Brendan Whittaker trying to find a way down on the inside of Adam Lavis, deep under brakes. No, not going to get it done. Went too deep. Schmidtke and Rees. Schmidtke into pit lane. Does Rees follow? We'll wait and see. Yes, he does. They're under lap 12. So there was your threshold. 12 was about the furthest you could go. Therefore, 4 is about the earliest you could go. And, of course, we did see Jared Gilbert in at the end of lap 4 on those numbers. So everyone's done their homework tonight, it would seem. But it's not over yet. Across the line we go. 5.5 minutes to play. Brendan Whittaker's still all over the back of Adam Lavis like a cheap suit. Chris Whittaker's got control of it. And to the tune of nearly 3 seconds here.
Oh, these boys will all be in the same Discord as well. So they've come out in front of Schmidtke.
They will be.
Yep, and that's head back a little bit further. Sean Rees.
With no disrespect to Schmidtke, that's not a surprise.
No. He'll have had a ball, though. I'm sure we'll hear from him tonight, and he'll be pretty excited by having the lead for such a long period of the race. Oh, a touch of the brakes, maybe a little bit of shenanigans going on there, just to maybe put him off his line a little bit.
I'm just waiting to get car feedback from these guys, because it's the first time we've had a broadcast race featuring the Renault Clio. We know what Chris Whittaker thinks, but we'll wait and see what everybody else thinks.
Oh, look out. Yeah, and he didn't feel his opinion was swayed by the fact that he won the race.
No, he stands by it.
Look at this trio.
Of course, Anyone that remembers the old school Ford Falcon, the old gen supercar on iRacing, so first gen of the current era, not the second gen, not the third gen, would remember that it became known as the Ford POS. And I don't need to remind everybody of what that stands for.
Point of sale,
yes.
clearly. Schmidtke right
dear.
with these boys. He's hanging right onto them. And Brendan back through on Adam. So this will chop and change. The draft will be strong with this one, I should think. And Adam will tuck in. He'll just wait for a little error again. But Chapman, Ad's Head and Tegel, they're in close battle as well.
Schmidtke will be really happy that the long game served him well here, and the fact that he's come back out right there in podium contention. One little slip up from Brendan Whitaker or Adam Lavis, and of course they've already swapped back over spots. Then all of a sudden, he's going to get a chance to welcome himself into the fight. Next time by the line will be 2 laps to go. Have a look at this. Ad's Head being hung out to dry here. Sam Chapman down on the inside. Chapman to 5th.
Look for Tegel. Oh, Ad's Head's hung on to that very nicely indeed through there.
Yeah. He's controlled it well. Through they come once more. Tegel, Cousins, Gilbert, King, Paget, Woods, then Howe and Rees, then Chapman, Baldwin and Nichols. Chapman's still out in the race, but a lap down. Baldwin and Nichols non-finishers here. Collard and Schultz non-starters. Back we go. Ryan Tegel. Under all sorts of pressure from Anthony Ad's Head here. Ad's Head trying to stay with them. 1.4 seconds away from Sam Chapman. Can they catch Chapman in the 2 laps left? 2 laps to go when we get to the line. CW will bring us to 2 laps to go. The start of lap 15 as he comes up onto the main straight. This is, despite not being everybody's favourite car or track combination, this has delivered this round of the production car series, no doubt about that. The entrees all have so far this season. We haven't had a dud yet. Across the line we go. 2 to go at the Rudskogen Motor Centre in Norway. Doing a Norwegian style for you tonight on the platforms of the GSRC. Here comes Jared Gilbert. Jared Gilbert and Gary Cousins. Gilbert's got by. Gilbert goes to 8th. Gary Cousins concedes defeat on that one. He yields and tucks in behind and follows Gilbert to turn 1. Chapman up 11 spots. Whitaker up 9 and 7 respectively. That's Chris ahead of Brendan. Adam Lavis up 4 spots as well. They're the big movers of this race.
Yeah, looks like Brendan's done enough just to sneak ahead that little bit, and maybe Adam will feel that this is good enough. What we didn't get a chance to look at early on in the piece was points coming into here. So Brendan Whitaker, Ryan Tegel, Reese Gosner, Chris Whitaker, Adam Lavis was travelling in 6th.
And that's, of course, it's important to note, as we say, big thanks to all the people that sponsor the platforms of the GSRC. They were on your screen a moment ago there. Yeah, it was interesting that the points coming into the round indicate that Ryan Gosner, someone that we were wondering, hang on, what's going on here? Reese Gosner, yes. So I was looking at Ryan Tegel's name at the same time, sorry. He's one of many in that top 10 there that you're not going to see tonight. And it'll be interesting to see how all the drop rounds fall into place once we get to that point of the season where they are applied to the equation. And Adam Lavis will crunch the numbers for us at the start of week 8, I am sure, to let us know who's still in contention and who's not. But those drop rounds mean everything, and a few of them have opted to. Well, the problem is as we get on to the last lap here too, ladies and gentlemen, the problem is when you opt to voluntarily sit out a round like this and you score 0, yep, sure, that's your drop round, but then you've got to make every other post bar 1 a winner for the rest of the season. You've got to you cannot afford a slip up, and that's where your championship could potentially come undone.
And of course there's another Rio Clio Cup event later in the piece, round 9.
That's right, and from these parts of the iRacing world as well, I do believe, Grant. I think the last 2 are on Australian soil, are they not?
I think they are. We'll have a look at that once we start having a bit of a chat and see where it's going. I think Sandown and Winton maybe. These would be a bit of fun around Winton. Let's have a little sneak preview.
Yeah, Winton and Sandown in that order. So Winton for the Clios and Sandown for the 86s. How good's that? You little beauty. Main straight, checkered flag. He mightn't like the car, but he's dished up a double dose of W anyway. CW gets the job done. A double victory, a clean sweep. Chris gets the job done, and Brendan Whitaker holds off Adam Lavis in the fight for second. So it's a Whitaker Motorsport whitewash tonight. They were pole and second in quali, pole and victory and second in race 1, victory and second in race 2. Shouldn't be surprised. Matt Schmidtke in for 4th. Sam Chapman, Ryan Tegel, Anthony Adshead. Then back to Jared Gilbert, Gary Cousins, and Ben Woods, the top 10. Phil King, Greg Padgett, Philip House, Sean Rees, and Kurt Chapman take us back to 50.
Yeah, watch for Phil to be demoted down the order. I think that would have been very close to a slowdown as well for him. But what's Chris doing? Just, here we go, reverse donuts. A J-turn anyway.
Oh, that's brilliant. Have a look at that. That's very nicely done.
Neither of the wheels are turning.
No.
And there's no smoke. Nicely done.
That's fantastic.
Nicely done. Ah, well, there we go.
And Phil King, of course, pulling up there at the end as well. Kurt Chapman was a lap down, but in the end, 16 finishes out of the 18 starters. We've got Jared Gilbert, Ryan Tegel, and Sam Chapman all standing on by quick for a chat. They didn't muck around. They were actually quicker landing in the booth post race than the car was on the track. Fantastic. Sam Chapman, let's go to you first. Then I want to go to Ryan Tegel. Look, that was an interesting night at the office. Let's be perfectly honest. Race 1 didn't look like it went your way, and then race 2 you were able to show some promise and turn it around and move from 16th up to 5th, mate. Well done.
Yeah, thank you. It's another night where I've suffered from silly little errors. First race, yeah, had pace, but 2 slowdowns, same spot, consecutive laps. So sort of lost it from there, and then sort of got knocked out as I was making my way back up. But yeah, second race was good. Ryan and I tried a different strategy and took some tyres, which around here was a bit of a risk with not much overtaking available, but yeah, pretty happy with that in the end.
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? I mean, I know Granzy's pricked there at one point. Mine did as well. You nailed it. It's a slow car. There's not a lot of overtaking opportunities around here, but it's a hard track to master, as proven by the fact that your 2 slowdowns came in exactly the same spot.
Yeah, exactly. And I couldn't believe it the second time. I sort of went over it and went, oh, please tell me it's not a slowdown, and it came up, and I was like, oh, what a moron. Because it's completely unforced as well. So, yeah, it's easy to do around here. If you're really pushing, you're going to be risking slowdowns. So you sort of just have to settle into it.
Yeah, what do they say, Sam? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Fool me twice.
I can't. Yeah. It's exactly what went through my head, Grant. It was exactly that phrase that went through my head.
Lovely, lovely. And the reverse grid was a bit of fun. Did you squeak your way into the top 10 for the reverse grid?
No. Chapo started this one from 16th, Grant, okay. So he may as well have just started 18th and kept on going.
Yes, it was a pretty rough start. I was pretty grumpy at the start, but we managed to make a few places in the first lap, and then sort of found a bit of a group, and it thinned out a bit, and sort of just went behind the Whitakers for a while with Ryan, and yeah, sort of worked out roughly in the end.
Lovely.
You might also be able to explain to us what happened to Kurt in the number 6 there, mate, because I'm seeing his pit lane, well, he stopped twice. That's problem number 1. And problem number 2 is the second one was 55 seconds.
Well, I know we've got the same last name, but I have no other relation to him. So I'll have to find out where down the line on Ancestry we're related before I can have a chat to him.
Thank you. Appreciate the clarification on that one. So it's not the same situation as the Whitakers. Okay, we've got that.
It was worth a punt.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, well, that's exactly why I threw it out there. I was lining that up just nicely, I thought. But anyway, okay. The big talking point. What are your impressions of the car?
Yeah, so I did a bit of practice in the car this week because I was pretty embarrassed by my efforts last week. So, yeah, I've actually come to like it. Once you get the hang of it, it's actually quite raceable. And you just got to not go too heavy on the brakes and be patient with it.
Is it somewhat similar to the the TCRs, etc.? What are they?
Yeah,
TCRs,
it's not that dissimilar. It's not that dissimilar. It's not got as much power, of course. So you've got to modulate the throttle a bit, but not quite as much as the TCR. And the tyre warm-up isn't quite as horrendous as what it is in the TCR. Okay. That tyres do fall off on these, which is why like Ryan and I got them towards the end of the stint. Just got fronts because you're not doing much with the rears in these things anyway, unless I'm drifting around turn 3. But they're good fun. It's a pity there's not much activity in the officials with them, I guess, because they're not a rookie car and they're not free.
Yeah, something I discovered this evening.
Too, Grant, we mentioned at the top of the call that the attendance rate was well down tonight. Chapo, what do you reckon that is? A combination of the track and car combo, or disdain for one over the other, or both?
Potentially a bit of both. I'd say more towards car because most of these guys would have had to buy them. They're not that big everywhere else, so there would have been a part to play in that. And then once you hop in them, when you're first getting the hang of them, they are a bit of a handful until you sort of understand the braking and that sort of thing. So there might have been a few guys that just decided to call it on that.
I'm not going to lie, Grant. If they're willing to put a Renault Clio in the iRacing server, surely there's got to be some love for the Hyundai XL down the line.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Got to get the XLs out there.
Probably be.
That would be the best thing on sim racing since Formula V. Just quietly.
Would it be a close match to these
You would have no voice.
Because these are a little turbocharged, one cylinder. No, but would the XLs run about the same sort of pace, I wonder?
I think the XLs. I think these would have a little bit on the XLs. As long as you don't get a slowdown.
That's right.
But the XLs would be a lot of fun, I reckon, and a lot of fun around here.
They'd be great fun anywhere, as I'm sure Chris Whittaker will attest to in just a moment. But in the meantime, there's the rest of the schedule. The Toyota 86 next week, Magny-Cours. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm looking forward to that. I love the 86. I'm all right around Magny-Cours as well. I've done races there for another league, Dutch league, which went well. So hopefully that one's a bit better. Could be a bit more consistent.
All right, very nicely done, mate. Hey, thanks for coming on by to have a chat to us. We appreciate that. Go well for the rest of the evening.
No worries. Thanks for the broadcast, boys.
You're very welcome.
Pleasure, as always. Now, before we go any further, let's pay the bills, as Grant's doing there on the bottom of the screen. Big thanks to all those people without whom we would not be able to do what we do. We would not be able to broadcast Monday and Thursday Night Motorsport, nor would the boys be able to bring you the occasional dose of Sunday Motorsport in the form of the Login Systems GSRC GT3 Endurance Championship. Now, to Ryan Tegel and Jared Gilbert, then to CW. Hey, Jared, thanks for stopping on by. So, I'm just doing the maths here. 5th in race 1, 8th in race 2. Your thoughts? Have we got you, Jared?
You'll need push to talk activated.
No, the lights aren't even on. So someone's there, but the lights aren't on, so we don't even know if he's home or not at the moment. When Harold Holt finally turns up, we'll turn the light on and we'll get back to it.
I love it.
There we go.
Headset disconnected.
He's there with us right now.
Sorry, my headset disconnected. Sorry, boys.
You're all right, mate. Hey, what were your thoughts on all of that? The car looked nice, and it looked as though you were competitive. It may not have necessarily gone your way in the second race, but it looked like you had some fun.
These are the most fun cars I've driven so far. Like, I just like driving these over everything else so far.
So you clearly haven't driven too many cars then, is that what you're saying?
That is exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay.
Fresh into iRacing, like I've been doing it for 5 months.
So you're a newbie, and
Yep.
and again, it's always nice when we have newbies in the club and coming in to have a chat to us, mate. So okay, what got you into iRacing in the first place, and what's your motorsport background before that?
What got me into iRacing was one of my mates. He was like, "Oh, you're pretty quick on Forza, so you want to jump over to iRacing, give yourself a bit of a challenge?" I was like, "Yeah, man, I'm down. Let's go." So that's basically how it went down. And previously, I'm a console player, so like Xbox, so like Forza and whatnot. So yeah, done on probably 6-7 years on Forza.
Yeah.
Welcome.
I was going to say, so Xbox over PlayStation. All right, that's point of difference number one. But it's interesting, isn't it? Talk me through the transition from console racing to simulation racing here.
Oh well, simulation racing. There's a lot more stuff that goes on. So, like, the biggest thing that I've noticed is the braking is very different. Just like, and the tire models are very different. So, on Forza, you have a lot more grip, so you can like be very aggressive. On this, you sort of got to be very delicate in some cars, otherwise, you're pinching brakes and you're spearing an old mate in front of you and ending two people's races. Where in Forza, it's not that big a deal.
Indeed. Good,
all right,
good
interesting.
observation.
And how are you enjoying your Thursday night hitouts here? 4 weeks, 4 different cars, pretty intense stuff, especially when you're also mixing up the circuit as well.
It's great. Just driving all these different cars on all these different tracks, it's given me a lot more experience, like compared to the 86s, which was my first season. I learned a lot through that, and then coming into this, I feel way more confident in myself, and it's just sort of working on getting used to the tracks and where to brake and that sort of stuff. Yeah, it's great. I love it.
And it looks like you just wheeled the street car. You drove to the track in this car and put some numbers on it and brought it to the racetrack.
That's exactly what I did, man. Fresh off the showroom floor.
It's that new colour, isn't it? That very flat sort of non-metallic colour that a lot of the cars are running these days. But nicely done. And you went for the Sunraysia style white wheels, which I loved.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, it looks pretty good on track.
Yeah, indeed.
Hopefully sponsors like it too.
Because you've got a little bit of room to pop a few on, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, I have a few personal sponsors like Shockworks, Quokka, Fueled. Shout out to those guys.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's a tricky series to get a livery done up each week. At least you'd have a livery for the second half of the season. But nice work there tonight.
Yeah, we've got a livery for the
86,
the TCR, the Hyundai, and 86. Yeah, so.
I was going to say, you've already mentioned it. You had some experience in the 86. What do you reckon about getting back in that next week?
If it's the same setup, I don't know. It felt a bit weird to me because, bit of an introduction driving that thing. They're not used to how it works and stuff. But thinking about it now, I think I'll do better. I'm looking forward to it. And Magny course was probably one of my better drives last season. So I was used to back end of the teens, and at that one I was sort of like 12, 11, 10 sort of area. So
nice work, mate.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and you'll have another run of the Clio in middle of June and Winton Motor Raceway. That probably be a fairly good match between these cars because plenty of chance to just pop the nose down inside, give the bloke in front a little tap on the back and shift it out of the way. So looking forward to that.
So am I. I like driving these cars. These are my favourite cars so far. Let's get to it. I can't wait.
Excellent.
All right, mate. Very nicely done. Thanks for stopping on by for a chat. Appreciate it.
No worries. Good race. Thanks, Wade.
You're welcome.
Didn't wait. He's a bit like Matt Dench. As soon as he's been let go, he took off. All right. Before we press on, just a quick comment with regards to the gaming aspect of things. Yes, that might be the comment of the season thus far. Well done to you, Matt Davis.
Yeah,
it's not delayed either.
Don't poke the bear. Don't poke the
no,
bear.
exactly. Do not poke the bear. We've already got on to that soapbox already tonight, and Ipswich City Council are next on the hit list as well because they've decided to slow everyone down again. Maybe they'll insist we start driving Renault Clios around the CBD if they want us to do 40 kilometres a bloody hour. Anyway,
Let me get new texter.
Yeah, exactly. Jared Gilbert mentioned gaming consoles, and I must admit, when I'm not here commentating on the iRacing platform, I'm playing the PlayStation 5, and I'm so glad that the people at Codemasters and EA Sports finally got the memo and got the fan feedback that we've been begging and pleading for since they ditched them in 2015. They're bringing red flags back to F1 2023 just to enhance the realism of the experience of gameplay in race mode. And I was more excited about that because I spend enough time chasing a red flag in the real world that I may as well go and chase them in the virtual world as well. So that'll be good fun. Ryan Tegel, welcome into you. Sixth place tonight. In that second race, up 2 spots on where you started. So it was third in race 1, chasing the likes of Brendan and Chris, trying to fend off Adam Lavis. And then in race 2, it was fairly hard going, trying to find your way through.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I was just hoping I could stick with these Whitakers in the first race, and unfortunately in about lap 3 or so I got to slow down, which it seems everyone except the Whitakers got. So yeah, that there goes the draft, and I was left fighting with Adam Lavis, which got pretty fiery. On the second to last lap, we had a bit of a lock up, and he sort of hit me, and I've gotten upset, and I've tried to report it to the race control, and I forgot there was no race control, and then he actually ended up giving me the spot anyway, and then I felt really bad for reporting it. So yeah, it was a good fair fight, to be honest, but yeah, I kept that, and then the second race came along, and yeah, I just couldn't make my way through the crowd, and I just sort of sat behind Sam the whole race.
And that's the thing, isn't it? So much of a muchness. Difficult car to master. You've both made comment on that already, you and Whitaker. Difficult track to master. Limited overtaking opportunities. And then we invert the field and add to the degree of difficulty once more for that second race. And it's freight train stuff. But as soon as the floodgates opened, there were a couple, like the Whitakers, that were able to pounce and take advantage of it, like Adam Lavis as well. But unfortunately, you just got boxed in.
Yeah, I got hung out to dry once or twice, and once you lose that one spot, another one goes through, and you just drop 2 spots. A bit disheartening. So I tried to fight it back. I think Chris and I had a moment as well. He was. I haven't rewatched it yet. I just deleted it without going back and watching it. But I'd love to see if I still had some racing room, or because I was hanging loose on the dirt for a moment there. I don't know if you could get the replay, but yeah, it was pretty sketchy. But he did eventually let up, and he took the spot 2 turns later anyway. But it was a bit of fun.
It certainly was, and slow down seemed to cruel you around here as well, mate.
Oh yeah, it's one of my favourite tracks, but yeah, I just couldn't get my head around this car tonight. So that's right. I'll take third for that first race, get some good points. I'm still sitting in third for the championship, so I'm just holding on to there for dear life now.
And that's the main thing as well. You got through this, you tick the box, you can move on, put the Clio to the back of your mind for the next 5 weeks. And you're maintaining that consistent run as far as the championship's concerned. What about next week, mate? Magny-Cours and the 86.
I'll be honest with you, I don't even know if I own Magny-Cours, so it'll be really interesting because I think everyone else will have a lot of experience, and I've never even been on the track yet. So yeah, that'll be another one I'll have to try and fight and figure it out. So yeah, I'll be looking forward to it though. Love the 86.
All right, very nicely done, mate. Thanks for stopping on by to have a chat with us. We do appreciate it.
Thanks, fellas. Have a good night.
There he is, Ryan Tegel. Which leaves just one. Last man standing in the house is the man that cleaned up tonight. 2 race wins, a pole position to boot. Chris Whitaker. It can't be that much of a POS if you're coming in and cleaning up like that, please.
Yeah, same thoughts, mate. I'm not the biggest fan of it still, but and it was Brendan, it wasn't me, man. As I termed it.
Yes.
I didn't know it was Mario or Luigi.
Well, actually, let's be perfectly honest. Who drew the short straw there? Who had to run? Why did you get stuck with Luigi and not Mario, please? Was it personal choice, or did you draw straws on this?
Well, green's actually my favourite colour. Brendan's always had the green because it matches the Frankenscapes, his sponsor. So, yeah, but and I've always been a bigger fan of Luigi than Mario. You know, Mario Kart always go with Luigi because, you know, he's the brother that everyone forgets. So, you know, I'll just get my world's smallest microphone, violin microphone.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but yeah. I do need to throw out there the commitment of one driver out there, Butts, and that's Anthony. My brother-in-law, obviously, Anthony Adshead. He and his fiance welcomed another little boy to the world on Tuesday. Connor James, and here he is on Thursday night jumping onto the sim. They only came home from hospital at lunchtime today. He jumps in as qualifying starting, and manages to pick himself up 2 top 10s, which is just epic.
That's because his wife can't get up to pull the plug out on the sim.
Exactly. Won't take long, and that'll change, Grant. But no, congratulations on the new arrival to Anthony and family, and of course, well done on the top 10s. Just winging it. How about that, eh? Just slides in, no practice, flying blind, and nets 2 top 10s. Had to get the elbows dirty a couple of times there too, CW.
Yeah, I watched a replay of Anthony and Sam having a little moment in the first race. I
prefer if he had a little bit less commitment, to be honest, Chris, on that one.
He can't disappear either.
No,
the overlap was there. That's I'm probably a little bit biased, so
I think you are
the person to be speaking to.
Hey, just quickly, what about you, CW, in that second race there? Couldn't find your way through, and then all of a sudden 3 in 1 corner, please.
Yeah, that's haven't had a Moses moment for a couple of seasons now, so that was a pretty good one. There, as you were saying just before, they're a really tricky car to pass with, and once you get on the back of the car in front, it's almost like an aero wash when they don't have aero. They're just a bucket of bolts, these things. I'm really not looking forward to Winton, to be perfectly honest. I mean, I've got the bickies, but I still don't like this thing. It's I was chatting to Adam during practice, and he seems to think that the Jetta is the worst car on the service. I'm going to lock in the Clio. I don't like it.
Hey, actually, speaking of Adam Lavis, he had an all right run, a 4th and a 3rd tonight.
Yeah, you guys must have mentioned his name.
I think we did. We did indeed.
That's super impressive. There's first for everything.
Exactly. In saying all of that, though, you did well to control that opening race, and then obviously second race, a little bit of strategy play, and eventually found your way past Brendan at the top end of town. Here we go. We've got a message coming in from 1G Gill that I need to get to when we go to intermission. Thank you, mate. Just getting that now. Yep. Now, sorry. Well, this is live television at its very best, ladies and gentlemen, or worse. Take your pick. It was interesting how you had to just sit in and bide your time and be patient with that one, Chris. And then all of a sudden, it became about strategy play, and it became pretty clear pretty quickly that you guys were on corrected order, going to be well positioned to get out ahead of the likes of Matt Schmidtke. But by gee, Schmidtke was impressive in the sense that he came out there on the tail of Adam Lavis. So only one of the guys that went really long was rewarded in the grand scheme of things. But from your standpoint, even though you don't like the car, and even though it's going to be challenging around Winton, and let's face it, Winton's not anyone's favourite Aussie track, I don't think. It's just nice to get through, tick the box, and come away clean in the greater scheme of things, because with already one drop round, you can't afford to muck up too many more races here.
Wow. What was the question again? Yeah. I feel like that was that fella in the F1 who asks all the questions that go for 4 hours, and then everyone forgets what the actual question was. But it was a good night at the office. I think that's probably a way to start it, as always. But with the one drop round already being used in the first round, we sort of got to obviously maximise what we can, and 2 wins and fast slap in a pole position. Brendan got fast slap in that second one, but I think it would have been interesting on maybe the second or third lap out of the pits. Brendan picked up a fairly hefty slowdown, which then put him battling with Adam for quite a few laps. So by the sound of things, they were having a ding-dong battle there, but it was just a matter of trying to keep out of trouble and not get those slowdowns. They're just so aggressive here for some reason. 2.5 second slowdowns, things like that, and they just don't disappear. Just hang around. I think that's because the car's so bloody slow that to actually lose 2.5 seconds, you pretty well need to pull over, pull the handbrake on, have a cup of tea, and then think about what you're going to make for dinner, and then take off. And you still got to find another second to lose. So. It's anyone say I don't like this car? Did I mention that yet? But,
are you still a fan of the circuit though, Chris?
Oh, I love the track.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, right.
I love this circuit. So it's technical. Whoops, it's technical. It's fast. It's slow. It's just got a bit of everything. So it's a great track. But just I don't know. Maybe Winton will be a bit better for him. A tighter track might somehow, a car that doesn't turn corners might come alive. I don't know. The TCR cars are always pretty good around Winton. Pretty good racing, but. Again, it's a car that's hard to pass in, and Winton's not the easiest track to pass on. So we'll see where it lands when that time comes, and we'll go from there. But really looking forward to next week. I'm a big fan of Magny-Cours. I haven't done that many laps there, to be honest. Only in TCRs that I've driven. The final chicane's going to be interesting in the 86s.
Yep.
But definitely looking forward to that.
All right, mate, we'll leave it there. Thank you. We're standing by for the Porsches in a couple of moments. Quick break, back with more. It is Thursday Night Motorsport on the platforms of the Gentlemen's Sim Racing Club. Production cars done. Into the Toyota 86s from Magny-Cours next week for them. And then we go back to the start as far as car choice is concerned. On the other side of the break, round 4 of the Blackout Electrical Solutions Porsche Cup coming your way. Stay with us.
Well, here we go. We're heading off to Silverstone, and we have the Porsche Cup joining us after our previous Clio Cup at Rudskogen, but this should be fantastic, the Silverstone track. We'll jump through almost immediately to where we are, having just finished qualifying. Welcome back, Zach. This should be a cracker, I think. We've got close to 30 cars in the service, so a little bit more traffic than last time, and looking forward to it.
Yeah, and apologies as well right up the top, because I think you forgot to cue us, Grant, but that's okay.
No, you're in another discussion, so
yeah,
so I thought I'd
indeed we
just
were.
get
So
going.
if any of that crept through,
No.
we do apologise.
You're muted.
All right, thank you. Nice to have your company wherever you're tuning in. You are right, mate. It is the latest round of the Blackout Electrical Solutions Porsche Cup from Silverstone, and what a great track this is for these type of cars. 5.9 kilometres or 5.8 kilometres the layout nowadays, the Arena Grand Prix layout, the current spec British Grand Prix circuit configuration. 21 degrees the track temperature, 17 the ambient, 10 o'clock in the morning. That's going to tick over in a moment, because we're in the quali server at the moment. But surprise, surprise, one M Dench has pole position.
Good evening. And
I'm not really surprised.
Hang on.
Half a second over Corey Lazarus here, if you don't mind. Aaron Cooper, Andrew Smith, Gordon Ramsay, and Samuel Sproul, the top six. Then Kai Ardley and Brett Barker. We'll get to that in full detail in just a moment. Let's have a look at the championship standings if we can, very quickly.
Yes, we should.
Then we probably should tick some bills as well and thank some sponsors.
Yep. So that's our Elite Cup.
Ooh. Now, this is on the back of last week's result where Corey Lazarus got his first win of the season on the back of that penalty for M. Dench. So he goes third. So therefore, it's really tight at the top. 7 points the margin. 200 plays, 193. 155 for Kai Ardley, and then daylight to everybody else. 138 for Shane Wright, 133 for Jordan Malcolm, and 131 for Alex Schmidt. Then Sproul, Smith, Barker, and Leach make up the top 10. Let's have a look at the open split. It's Dane Snadden on top, 206 plays. Jeff Adams, 188. Paul Wilson, 174. Adam Lavis, 149. And Sean Rees, 133. All right, out of that, into the new track conditions and updated temperature there for us, Grant.
Yes.
5 o'clock in the afternoon and still broad daylight. What about that? 11th of May. No. 19 degrees, the ambient, and I've just lost the data for the on-track temperature there at the moment. We'll get that back in just a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Front row looks like this: Matty Dench and Corey Lazarus, Aaron Cooper and Andrew Smith the second row, then Gordon Ramsay and Samuel Sproul, Kai Ardley and Brett Barker, then Dylan Shepard and Dane Snadden, Guy Leach and Alex Schmidt from row 6, Paul Wilson, Adam Lavis from 7, Chook Fung Wong and Brett Bradbury from row 8. Jeff Adams is on row 9 alongside, I believe it's Joe Baldwin, but I'm not sure. John Baldwin it might be. I need to have a look at that in a moment when we get the data back. We've just lost that information momentarily here, folks, at our end. There it comes. Yes, it is John Baldwin. Then Stephen Gallacher and Joe Baldwin. Then Callum Heinrich, Pete Matson. Then Darren Johnston, Sean Rees. Then Kurt Chapman and Jonathan Hooper on row 13. Greg Padgett, Dave Oliver, Dave Riddell yet to join the grid. We'll wait and see if they do. And if that's the case, we'll have a field of 29 lining up for this fourth round of the Blackout Electrical Solutions Porsche Cup. 22 degrees the track temp, cloudy conditions. That's just standard summer in Great Britain. And we are ready to go at Silverstone. So last week, Denchi's dominance brought undone by a contentious penalty that he didn't contest. He didn't take to the stewards. He had every right to. He opted not to. And Kai Ardley, of course, was the other bystander involved in that incident, as you all know. Corey Lazarus, therefore, inherited the win at the back of Matty Dench's penalty being applied, 10 seconds. He came out and put the fastest lap of the night on in emphatic style. But this week we go from 60 minutes back to 40, ladies and gentlemen. So it's short, sharp sprint mode for Thursday night. Let's get racing at Silverstone. Round 4 of the championship underway, and look at Gordon Ramsay. He's bolted already. Up 2 spots, if you don't mind, a turn 1. Someone missed the jump completely there. Trouble in behind. They're everywhere at turn 1. 3 cars, 4 cars, 1 over on its lid.
Oh dear.
Trouble at the first corner. It is a trouble point on this circuit. It's set out and proven as such tonight. Now, I do believe we have race control. Hendo and Betty Woods are down there at the moment. They haven't opted to deploy the safety car. They had every right to, though. And now already on the attack. 2 by 2 we go down towards turn 3 for the first time. The exit of the arena layout And back on to the old school circuit. Matty Dench slots into second behind Corey Lazarus. Farrell Ramsey, then Shepherd up 4 spots already. Barker and Leach in behind them. The losers in all of that, Aaron Cooper down 18 spots. So he was the one that went flying off to the left. Then Chuk Fung Wong down 9, Jeff Adams down 8, so too John Baldwin. Stephen Gallacher down 9. I suspect that he was the one that ended up on his lid. And Greg Padgett, a non-starter, down 2 spots. So already Lazarus and Dench side by side. The gloves are off early. Denchy had pole by half a second, but Lazarus got the jump and holds Dench in behind at the moment. But we know the gamesmanship. We know the antics and the tactics that Dench gets up to on a Thursday night here. He'll happily let Corey Lazarus lead this thing and drag him along. He'll save a little bit of fuel in the process and then one up everybody in pit lane. Or does he want to race hard early? He wants to go to the outside. He wants to have a look on Lazarus. He tucks back in.
And we got a little bit of...
Oh, boy, the gloves are off, Grant.
Yeah, a little bit of information through from Matty Dench about fuel, which I think you've got at hand there, Zach.
I do. And, I should actually open that up. You're right.
I can share that if you like. Tank
limit is 50.6 litres. The normal race lap is about 3.25 litres a lap. And then therefore there might be some people go for the one stop. Well, I'm not really surprised about the one stop because we know these 40-minute races, we suspect that there should be one stop.
I got a follow-up to that, Zach, from Matt.
Go for it.
Maybe no one stops. Hard to hit 2.5 litres per lap. And then an emoji face laughing with tears coming out. So he might not have wanted me to share that one, but there we go.
All right.
And our graphics are playing silly buggers.
50.6. They are indeed. I want to get an idea as to where we are lap time wise, but I suspect we're in the vicinity of 20 laps here at the Silverstone circuit tonight. 50.6 divided by 3.25, if they're the numbers that are coming through, gets me 15.56. So someone like Denchi can easily stretch that to 16. We've seen that many a time before. We now wait and see if anyone else can follow suit. Now, have a look at Dench, trying to get up on the inside of Lazarus. Can't get it done. It is a plus 2-minute lap time around here, so you don't get any change from 20 laps tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Thursday night motorsport on the platforms of the Gentlemen Sim Racing Club, and that will incorporate and include, I should say, the transit down pit lane. Because if anything, the transit down pit lane here actually shaves a little bit of time off. It's a shorter pit lane than most, and the entry into it cuts the last 3 corners of the lap as well. Through they come, Lazarus, Dench. And who's that going with them as well? Is that Gordon Ramsay maybe in third spot? No, Samuel Sproul. Shepherd up into 4th.
Yep.
Then Ramsay and Smith arguing over the same piece of real estate. Look at them side by side behind him as well there. Lazarus containing Dench at the moment, but for how long? We'll wait and see.
Let's see if we can unpick some of those accidents early on, Zach.
Hey, what about Joe Baldwin up 9 spots early on too, please, quite frankly, Grant? Yeah. And Carl Yardley down 3 spots, unfortunately. But this will explain most of that, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have a look at how it all fell apart there on the opening lap.
This is John Baldwin having an accident and just shunted straight off the track. Pete Matson's been dragged off the track as well. Well, let's have another look at what happened to Peter. He's in the middle there, white car on his outside. Oh, and we just cut at a perfectly inopportune moment. Then a little bit later, Kai Ardley, he'll be in the fluoro green.
Yep. And I want to know as well, that was later in the lap. That was Pete Matson coming unstuck again. Later in the lap, later in that first corner incident, there was one that ended up on their lid. Right. And as soon as we get the graphics back, I'll be able to tell you who it was, because it was the car that ended up on the tow rope immediately. Have a look at this. Bang.
Kai Ardley.
No, it wasn't Kai Ardley. It was Stephen Gallacher, yeah. He ended up on his lid up and over and then on the tow rope. Night over before it even began.
So these
essentially for him.
Graphics are lagging terribly, so excuse us for that. I've not got too many options on that, so we'll have to just go with it. I wonder if NBN's playing silly buggers with me.
Wouldn't be the first time.
No.
How good's our Fitzworld internet, you know? I mean, Jesus. progressive country and first world country with fifth world internet technology.
He wouldn't have had shares in a copper company, would he? The bloke who
possibly
decided to change it from fibre to the home to.
That should be investigated.
Yes, well, once the Anti-Corruption Commission's up, I'm sure that'll be right at the top of the list. I think the same bloke will be booked in for about the first 4 months. That's why he's looking to. The latest story is he's off to England to work for the company that's involved in the AUKUS subs. Surprise, surprise. So anyway,
there you go.
Anyway,
oh dear,
it's not what you know, is it? But anyway, onwards with the racing.
Yeah. Sorry.
My turn.
There's a motor race, is there? Oh, geez, we've got to talk about it. Lazarus and Dench doing a nice job of it at the front at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. Thursday night motorsport on the platforms of Gentlemen Sim Racing Club. 3 laps gone.
Andrew
That's Smith.
Holder of the fastest
Smith
lap.
looping.
I don't think we need those car logos, do we?
No, because they should all be Porsches.
Yeah, otherwise something's gone drastically wrong. Let's see if we can pick up Andrew Smith's incident. But he just set the fastest lap
a Monday night
with a 2:03.59. Great effort.
But now all brought undone by that loop in the arena section of the circuit. Lazarus, Dench, Sproul, Shepherd, Ramsey and Barker, the top 6 at the moment. Smith is there 7th. Then Schmidt, Ardley, Wilson and Baldwin take us back to 11th. And Cooper is 12th. On the comeback trail after that lap 1 skirmish, Bradbury is 13th. Laver, Snadden, Rees, Riddell, Heinrich, Johnston, and then Jeff Adams make up the top 20. Looking further afield, we've lost Dave Oliver. Guy Leach is still in pit lane after 4.5 minutes. Stephen Gallacher is back out there, but he's the better part of a lap down. He's only just crossing the line to start lap 3 now. Andrew Smith, the race fastest lap holder at the moment, 2:03.59. Corey Lazarus leads Matty Dench and Samuel Sproul. How good's this shaping up to be on a Thursday night? Hope you're enjoying the show, wherever you're tuning in, wherever you're listening, wherever you're watching around Australia or indeed the world.
Lazarus taking some really interesting lines. He's staying right offline, right up to the corner and then ducking in, and Matt's not going to follow him. So maybe he's just trying to force Matt to use a little bit more fuel, but he's certainly, maybe he's inviting him through. I don't know, but Lazarus all over the road.
Platforms of the Gentlemen Sim Racing Club, and quick update for you on Thursday night football. 10-all at Amy Park in Melbourne for a storm up against the Broncos. So locked square at half-time. To be honest, that's a very flattering scoreline for Melbourne as far as I'm concerned, the way they've been playing the last couple of weeks, but that's another story. Lazarus, Dench, Sproul, Shepherd, Ramsey, then Barker. The top 3 have taken off. Dylan Shepherd trying to stick with them. And back we go. We pick up Paul Wilson in 12th at the moment, in behind Joe Baldwin and Aaron Cooper. So Cooper's now found his way back into the top 10.
This is Kurt Chapman coming up with Jeff Adams.
Uh-oh.
So he thought the door was wide open. He's just, and Joe Neely involved. Pete Matson's got a target on his car tonight, the poor bugger.
But this is the thing, isn't it, Grant? That corner closes up very bloody quickly.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's tricky.
Very quickly.
Tricky old circuit.
Through we go again. It's Lazarus, Dench and Sproul, the top 3. You're watching Kurt Chapman here at the moment. And now Paul Wilson. We're back with Wilson.
Sorry, back up to the front.
Now we're back.
Very, very close.
Yeah, no, sorry, the graphics are lagging terribly, so it's not exactly picking up who's who at the moment. So just ignore that bottom left of screen. Lazarus, Dench to the outside. Dench then tucks back in. We're at the end of lap 5. We're a quarter of the way through this thing, ladies and gentlemen. There is actually potential now, looking at the lap times here, 205, 205, 205 consistent. And enough of them might actually just upset the apple cart with regards to overtime tonight, because 18 of them would be 1 minute and 40, and then that wouldn't leave much for pit lane transit time. So it's actually now looking like it'll be 19 laps race distance. But that's still a fair chunk of mileage around the Silverstone circuit. It'll be in excess of 100 kilometres that they'll chalk up tonight because, 5 kilometres by 20 gets you 100. So let me do some calculations here. 5.8 by 19, 110.2 kilometres is about what we're looking at tonight, which is not bad going for 40 minutes of work.
Absolutely, yeah. It's you'd like to be able to travel 110 k's in about 40 minutes, wouldn't you, on a regular commute?
No hope in hell around here now that they've lowered the bloody speed limits in the CBD, Grant. But anyway, I'm going to have more to say about that on Monday afternoon on the drive home. I'm filling in on West Brom Radio next week.
Dane Snadden.
I'm filling in on the Monday, but after I make these comments about Ipswich City Council and the Department of Main Roads and Transport working together, I might not be on air on Tuesday.
Oh, Dane's all over him.
Here he goes, going for the lead. Grant, he wants to have a lunge. Up the outside, going into Maggots and Beckett's, and Lazarus keeps him at bay.
Aaron Cooper, Kai Ardley. Kai Ardley running a different livery this week, which has been catching us out, the red one there. Because he's been in it's a Lightning McQueen, is it? He's been in a very bright pink car up until this point of this series. And Dane Snadden and Adam Lavis, or Snadden down the inside, Lavis will hang on for the inside of the next corner. They're having a great battle. Battles all over the place with, as we said, Ardley and Cooper having a good old battle in here. And up front, tight as you like, four peas in a pod, if you will. Dylan Shepherd, the fourth of those, and Gordon Ramsay just 1.2 seconds back. But very much a draft sort of circuit through here.
Indeed it is. Through we go once more. Lazarus, Dench, Sproul, Shepherd, Ramsey, Barker, Smith, Schmidt, Cooper and Ardley, the top 10. A lot of moving and shaking has been done in the opening few laps, and look at Dylan Shepherd now, right up on the train. Right there with Sproul, Dench and Lazarus. He's been lurking all season as a contender. Now he's getting a chance to flex his muscle. He's just not had everything fall his own way. He's not been able to hit his straps here so far this season, Shepherd. It's been a character-building experience. Well, with a couple of things not going his own way.
Sproul and Shepherd have just changed places. I'm pretty sure they're both Blackout Motorsports vehicles, so I don't know if it's a slowdown, but this looks rather deliberate. That looks a bit like a slowdown, but he's certainly let Sproul has let Shepherd through. Maybe it's a multi-21. But
bit of potential gamesmanship going on there. Dane Snadden off the road down in 15th now. Adam Lavis gets by him up into 15th and Snadden back to 16th.
Oh, they were
there they are on screen.
Yep.
Across the line on the old side of the circuit, the old start-finish line they go now. So they're halfway through this 7th lap, and now back down the inside, Snadden on Lavis. And thanks for coming. Lavis hangs tough around the outside to put himself potentially on the inside. No, he yields.
Feel like
I was going to say, he might be looking to be on the inside for the next corner for Maggots and Beckett's, but not the case. And back to the front we go. Lazarus still leading the end of lap 7. We're about to start lap 8 here.
A little bit of a gap building there between Dench and Shepherd. I don't know if the boys up front have just put the foot down. Let's have a look. And we'll go for Denchy and one of those. 2:04.5s. And have a look back there. There we go. No, they're just, that was a good lap by Lazarus last time round, so doing a good job, and Shepherd just starting to close it down again. Sun getting a bit low in the sky there, but kind of what you'd expect if it was just waiting for the graphics to update and let me know what time of the evening is, but it's getting on a bit.
Well, the race server kicked into gear at 5 p.m, but we know full well, Grant, that it's twice as fast as it would be in the real world. That's how the clock's moving. We know also that Great Britain sunsets a lot further into the evening than much of the world, especially parts of the world that don't observe daylight saving. Hello to our friends in Queensland again. Across the line we go. How's that pen of yours going, Grant? Are you okay?
It's dry, mate. It's dry.
Okay, good.
Yeah, soaked through the paper and ruined the tablecloth. I tell you what, very disappointed. But Andrew Smith, having had a spin earlier on, is right back with these boys. Set the fastest lap of the race last time around, 2:03.52. So that was nearly a half second faster than Lazarus and about 7/10 faster than Dench. So he's really closed in on the back of this. And now Sproul has just dropped back that little bit more. Shepherd is in very close contact with Lazarus and Dench. And Matty just sucking all the air he can out of the back of that car in front. Big dive down the inside from Shepherd. He wanted a big piece of that, and Dench might oblige him there. He'll dive for the inside.
No, I tell you what, Dench might have to yield this time round because Shepherd's coming. Shepherd's coming. He uses the curb and then some.
Very
Somehow, Dench keeps him at bay, and then he bobbles sideways to Shepherd.
Yeah, that's.
Oh boy, the gloves are off at Silverstone.
He was very lucky he didn't get launched sideways right into Dench. But what a pack! This is seven cars within. As you used the expression before, I think 3/5 of 5/8, not very much at all. So it's doing nicely. Half a second from Lazarus back to Dench. Then Shepherd tucked in there. Sproul, Ramsey, Barker, and Smith with Aaron Cooper. Then 5 seconds back from this pack. But 1 through 7. Wow, they're really giving it to it. And Smith having a big look at Barker down to here.
Down the inside, can we get the job done?
Very nicely done.
Nicely done. So, Lazarus the leader, Dench and Shepherd arguing over second. I'm excited. I'm as excited as Grant is about the pack being 7 deep at the top end of town, but we know how this goes, ladies and gentlemen. Strategy play, the pit lane transit, the pit stops themselves. We'll divide and conquer the field and split them up a little bit. So let's not get too excited just yet until we see how that phase of the race plays out. We are on the precipice, on the cusp of seeing these guys transit pit lane to complete that splash and dash.
So the intel was possibly, maybe only just possibly, a one-stopper. But 2 stoppers would mean, like you say, any time now. Oh, and Shepherd has got by Dench.
Oh, Shepherd! Just slips one past them, Dench, and us as well. How about that? Shepherd into second, Dench back to third.
Look at the
this
run.
Was very slickly done from Dylan Shepherd. Have a look at that.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Pokes it down the inside. Trademark Silverstone 101. Dench hung out to dry.
Very nice.
First time we've seen Dench that far down the order so far tonight.
Yeah, 2 cars punch a bigger hole than 1 car though, so that air will just be, he'll be operating in just about a vacuum back there. Dave Riddell in another one of the twitchy feet is running with Dane Snadden now, and I'm just looking to see, Snadden did get past Adam Lavis, so they were having a great battle in there, but some nice close racing there. Schmidt and Ardley, they've been going at it for some time now. Ardley in the Lightning McQueen Chicao, or whatever he used to say. Oh no, Gordon Ramsay's had a big moment. Brett Barker also went off, and he's part of that leading group, so let's see if we can pick up some of that. Andrew Smith, we saw pass Gordon Ramsay. Now Brett Barker, what's happened to you, my friend? There's going to be a touch. Oh, he's just clipped.
Oh no, and bang, nowhere to go.
Old Gordon Ramsay, and there will have been a few colourful words expressed there, I should think. Very unfortunate.
How was the skid across the grass, by the way?
Very elegant.
That was very impressive.
Yeah, no flat spots there.
10 from the judges for the elegance. That's no doubt about that.
Indeed.
Corey Lazarus continues to lead and control this thing at the front. We're on lap 10. We're heading to half race distance. In fact, we've got there as far as the clock is concerned. Hope you're enjoying the show, wherever you're tuning in. It's been good so far. Plenty of entertainment. Round they come, through Maggots and Beckett's, and then the run down the hill to Stowe.
Matty right under the rear wing. Yeah, he's engaging that clutch a lot again. Very, very early downshift there, just to let it wind up. Big clutch. So the fuel meister is in the house, I think you could very easily say. Matty trying to put on one of those clinics that he so often regales us with. But Joe Baldwin and Wilson, they're in a good battle as well. They've been toing and froing. Dave Riddell, first of the pitters. He's popped into the pits. And Adam Lavis, no, he's gone around again. So
Yeah,
Callum
he's
Heinrich,
doing an okay job.
Callum Heinrich, the other one too, have jumped in.
We're doing our best here with internet dropping in and out at both ends, ladies and gentlemen. Bear with us. Hence why the graphics have been a little bit misleading at parts tonight, or in parts. Here's Lazarus, Shepherd, Dench and Sproul arguing over the lead of the race, and Lazarus doing a great job of controlling it. And that's the thing. You've got to divide and conquer. It might be a case of it takes 3 to beat 1.
Yes.
You know, Matty Dench is not invincible when he's ganged up on.
That's right.
They're certainly doing a good job of that tonight.
Shepherd's let Lazarus out by about a second there, so they're all Blackout Motorsports, those top 3, and we've heard from the boys just how much work they're putting in, and it seems to be paying dividends for them. But 1.2 seconds. It's Lazarus is doing a great job. I mean, Shepherd is doing a great job. Because very hard to slow Matthew down and keep him behind you, but we suspect that he's doing his usual fuel save. I wonder if there's some Scottish blood in him and he just doesn't want to pay the pump price with Mr. Dench, and he wants to use as little as he possibly can.
Yeah, probably a good idea. Right, probably a good idea. All right, so back down we go. Smithy into the lane. There we go.
Fifth. And Barker.
So Smith pulls the trigger, and now Lazarus leads the race across the line at the end of lap 11. As Shepherd, Dench, Sproul and Cooper in behind them. Aaron Cooper on a charge at the moment. He's going to pop in top of shot. There he is. After being involved in the opening lap skirmish, slowly but surely on the comeback.
Lazarus sets fastest lap of the race, 2:03.21, 7/10 faster than Shepherd and 8/10 faster than Dench that last time around. Darren Johnson having a good battle with Riddell, and Riddell and Matson are in close company. So Pete will be looking forward to a bit of a cleaner run for the rest of the race, because he just got hit from pillar to post. Oh, Pete. There we go.
Pete Matson in the gravel.
The curse is still going. So the graphics are slow, but the curse is right on.
The curse is right on the money. Right on the money. Doing a beautiful job.
So if these guys
back we go.
haven't pitted, I think it's safe to say everyone who hasn't pitted can do a one-stop from here. Am I
think that's
correct?
It's safe to assume that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, we were looking at the numbers from the outset, thinking a 19-lap race, 16 laps to the tank. You'd have to save a fair chunk if you were going to try and get home on no stops at all. There will be someone try and pull that off, I'm sure. Maybe Dench, maybe not. But we'll wait and see who zigs and zags with regards to pit strategy play next time by. Top 10 yet to stop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those still in contention have stopped. We've lost Jonathan Hooper, Guy Leach, Dave Oliver. They're all out of contention. Stephen Gallich is out there, but he's more than a lap down now, having completed his second pit stop. He's the one for the tow rope, for the fast repair, for the head knock that the car took at the top end of the race. He, of course, was on his lid. And, of course, the second one to splash and dash and get into the checkered flag on fuel. 25 minutes gone, 13 laps in the tank. 12 laps gone. We're on 13. We're on our way to this all-important round of pit stops.
Schmidt's in. Baldwin and Snadden are both in. Matthew had a really good look at getting past Shepherd there a moment ago. The lead's out to 1.8 seconds, 2 seconds in fact right now. So
whoa.
It's very close quarters, and Matt's probably thinking, no, I can see what you're doing, boys. I can see what you're doing, and I don't like it.
Right, that's it. Shepherd's doing a nice job of containing Dench here, but for how much longer? Down the inside? No, he tucks back in and yields. Now, does he try and go around the outside to put him on the inside for the next right-hander? No, can't do that either. Shepard driving a beautiful race here. Sproul in there as well in contention still. They've got Dench in some sort of pressure cooker situation here. But what's he going to do to one-up him on strategy play when we get to this splash and dash in a few moments' time? The end of lap 13, and who blinks first?
Just looking.
There's the breakdown, ladies and gentlemen. Elite split at the top, open split at the bottom.
Wilson, big lead. Probably not that big a lead. Let's have a look. Where's Paul Wilson? I think he does have a reasonable sort of gap over Adam Lavis. Chuk Fung Wong, then Sean Rees, Joe Baldwin. I think it's Joe and not John. Yes, it is. And then Adam, Snadden, Bradbury, Riddell and Johnson. But you can see a couple of pitters in there already. So Joe Baldwin has pitted and running there in 5th place in the Open Cup. But the boys up the front, top 7 still to pit. And Paul Wilson's front of that car is looking very ordinary. Looks like he's hit a telegraph pole, but that gap out front is now nearly 3 seconds. The boys are doing a job.
Indeed they are. Lazarus doing a nice job to take off into the slow setting sunset here in Great Britain. We're not quite 6 o'clock local time. Fastest number of the night thus far for Corey Lazarus. The fastest lap of the motor race to this point. Purple boxes galore. How nice is that? Almost 8 o'clock. Almost 6 o'clock local time, server time. But we know that we've got about 3 more hours of daylight to play with, or an hour and a half on 2 times, as we're in that sequence at the moment of the clock moving twice as fast as it would in the real world.
Shepard.
That's the setting. Oh, Shepard, Shepard's gone. Now, how did that happen? More to the point. Oh, boy.
Oh, he's just turned hard left. That looks like equipment failure.
Oh, wow. That is an enormous moment. That's huge. That's a game changer in this thing.
Oh,
have a look
hard
at this.
left.
It's
Yep.
on left and gone. Bang.
Oh, dear.
Never saw it coming, and nor did he. Shepard's gone out of business, out of the race. Car stranded, parked hard right, drivers right down the back straight there. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. It's not often I'm left speechless in this game, Grant, but that'll do me. Lazarus was controlling this race beautifully. Shepard had Dench contained. Then all of a sudden, whoosh car, see you later.
Matty Dench's view.
And Matty Dench just saw Moses. The seas parted beautifully for Dench.
Oh, he's quite familiar with that.
You cannot buy luck in this game sometimes. Dylan Shepard had none of it so far this season. None of it at all.
Really spread out on our early stages. Lazarus now with a 2.8 second lead. 1.3 back to Sproul and 4.2 back to Cooper. And Ardley running 5th place, up 2 spots, doing a good job. At the moment, Joe Baldwin is up 8.
Ardley in.
Copy that. So Joe Baldwin up 8 spots in 12th, and Dave Riddell up 15 in 14th spot. So he's having a real night. Dench just set the first lap of the race, 2:03 flat, 0-0.
So we've just gone from 2:03.11 to 2:03.00. Matty Dench sees Corey Lazarus's time and one-ups him, and now we wait and see. Is this the trigger pull moment for Dench? He was half a second faster than everybody in qualifying.
Andrew Smith.
He's going to have to punch out something similar here, Grant. So pip the competition now with Lazarus enjoying a 2.5 second advantage and 5 laps to go.
Indeed. Andrew Smith set a 2:03.16. So he's had real good pace during the course of the race. Andrew Smith had a bit of misfortune, but he's already pitted. And if I change that over to gap rather than interval, we can see Andrew Smith first of the pitters with the graphics catcher.
Yes.
There you go. He's travelling 26 seconds back on the lead at Corey Lazarus. So we'll keep an eye on everything that's going on here. Ty Ardley He must have taken a shortcut somewhere because he's got a 2:02.11 but not registering as fastest lap of the race, so it must have been off-track assisted. But a 2:02.11 is 9/10 faster than the fastest lap of the race, so whatever he did, you might want to do it a few more times because that's an incredible time. Corey Lazarus in.
Lazarus in. Lazarus in. This could well be where the race is won and lost. And also following him in there was Aaron Cooper.
And Sproul. Matthews out in his own now. He's got no one within 16 seconds or so.
2:02.62!
There you go.
Dench has just come out and shaved 0.4 of a second off his fastest number of the night. And yet again, this is the master at work, ladies and gentlemen.
Now, class, pay attention.
Exactly. School's in session.
Oh, dear.
Oh, boy, oh, boy.
That
Yet again, it's Matty Dench doing the teaching.
Yeah, it might be a result of the pit stop because I'm just looking. Lazarus, Sproul and Cooper have done... Lazarus did a 2.00.33. So that shortcut, as you mentioned before, of going into the pits does take quite some time off, and that's why it didn't show up as fastest lap of the race for those boys. Adam Lavis into the pits as well, but 2:02.62. Thanks for coming. What was the quali time? Just have a quick look. Wait for the graphics. Wait for it.
Just wait.
Of course, Dench, the only one not to have pitted at this point in time.
So Denchy, they're doing what Denchy does.
Oh, yeah.
Let's wait and see what he brings to the table
2:01.893
when he comes to pit lane in just a moment.
Yeah, 2:01.893 was the pole quali time.
So there's still a fair way off that marker just yet. But
It's
when
about
does
0.8.
Dench pit? More to the point. This is the end of lap 16 now. This is about the threshold of the fuel tank, as we discussed earlier, based on the numbers that Denchy sent through.
And we're relying on him to have provided reasonable and factual information without scurrilous misdirection.
Round they come again. That's the end of lap 16, and Dench is carrying on.
19-second lead.
Tune in,
back to
ladies and
Lazarus.
gentlemen. You're witnessing another masterclass from the number one, heading out in pursuit of his sixth, I repeat and stress, sixth Porsche Cup title
Cooper and
in
Smith.
6 weeks' time from now.
Cooper right on the back of Smith and having a great battle there. Further back, Adams and Heinrich are having a nice dice. 19-second lead, 2:02.45 for Matthew Dench last time round. Just keeps shaving a bit off and shaving a bit off. It's like a barber. Just take a little bit more off the back there, would you mind?
Rightio. Now, does he pit this time by? And
Yes. No.
well, actually, let's wait and see here too, Grant, because the skeptic in me thinks if Dench can stretch this out and take us all the way to the checkered flag, he's going to have to do 20 laps, just judging by the clock. Just having a look at the clock, he will have to do 20 laps.
Andrew Smith.
So if all of a sudden he catches everyone napping, he will have to complete an extra lap, and so will they. But I can't see it happening. I just don't. On this circuit, this longer circuit, I cannot see, well, anyone apart from Dench, I can't see, even Denchy actually, dragging an extra 4 laps out of the projected numbers. So we'll wait and see. Does he come in this time at the end of lap 17? Yes, he does. There we go. So that answers the question. Across the line we go. Dench brings the field to that point of being cleansed. Now we wait to see where Corey Lazarus joins and where Dench rejoins the fold and fray at the end of this pit sequence. Dench will get his splash and dash, and once he's on the move, we're going to get a real indicator as to how the rest of this race plays out. Lazarus is on the main straight. Dench is off the jacks. Dench is on his way. Dench is on his way, and Lazarus is heading to turn one. Wait and see. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Where is he? Where's Dench? He's out in front, isn't he? Surely.
Just about 6 seconds. That can't be right.
No, it's 2.8.
Yeah,
2.8.
graphics from Douglas again.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. School is in session.
Normal
class
service
dismissed
has
today,
been
ladies and gentlemen.
resumed.
Oh, what about that? The master at work yet again, and the in lap was a 1:59.97. As I say, you lose a couple of corners off the lap, you shave a couple of seconds. So we're inside 4 minutes now. So keep an eye on the clock, Grant. Keep an eye on the clock, because now that Denchi's completed that splash and dash, he may still... Oh, and that's the other point as well. And just let that sink in for a minute, right?
There you go. Clock's playing...
Yeah, clock is a little bit bungled at the moment. Yes. Clock's having a cock up. So when it comes back good...
30 odd it was.
Yeah, and that's the point. So Denchi's transit time was about 2 seconds quicker than anybody else. It was 5.38 seconds. There is still a very realistic chance, and I need to see the clock exactly, and good luck with that tonight, when they come across the line, but he's actually going to drag this to 20. He is going to drag this to 20. So I said 20 off the outset, then I thought because they weren't punching out, they were punching out 205s, 204s, I didn't think we'd get to 20, but Denchi is definitely going to take us to 20 now. Because you look at the clock, it's 18 laps gone, right? They're going to come back around this time round, and there's going to be more than 2 minutes and 4 seconds to play. In fact, there's going to be about 2.5 to play. So they are going to drag this to 20. From nowhere, Denchi's numbers, Denchi's pace at the back end here is dragging it to 20.
Wonder how.
We're on to 19 now.
Put in the trouble with that. Has a 3.4 second lead over Lazarus. Then it's 6.2 back to Sproul. And 1.8 back to Aaron Cooper. Great result for him. He's down 1 from his starting position, but he's had a big recovery during the course of that.
Just extraordinary. And what this guy continues to achieve on a Thursday night and a Monday night as well, and how he goes about it.
Last lap round, 2:21.94. So he's into the 21s. The 21.8, I think, was the quali time.
No, it was a 2:01.8. That was that was including his transit time.
Yep, you're right.
Yeah. So don't worry too much about that.
Just couldn't get it stopped. Will that do him? Yeah, that almost looked like Real World might have interrupted there. Well, let's see what he does this time around.
So lap 19, we're going to 20. That part now we can confirm for you. Oh boy, there's pressure on everybody else to find yet another gear and another way to up their game, because just when it looked like these guys were putting some pressure on Denchi tonight, he was just settling in for the ride and leading them into a very false sense of security.
Oh, yeah.
And yet again, we are going to see the master at work. What a time to be alive to witness this masterclass on a weekly basis.
Yeah, the old expression, you can't win a race on the first 20 laps, but you can certainly lose it. He's just sat there and let it evolve. A 40-minute race is a bit like an enduro almost for him. He just lets it evolve, and knowing that he's got the outright pace to absolutely 202.1. 202.1 as a race lap. Thank you, Matthew.
Right there. Why not? 202.1. He's almost on the cusp of that 201 we were talking about earlier, Grant.
Yep.
Absolute madness.
Ramsey and Schmidt.
Well done, Matty Denchi. Leads this by 4.5 on the last lap. We are going to lap 20. We got there actually with about 20 seconds to spare in the end. Just extraordinary.
Yeah.
And again, that comes down to how small the pit lane transit time is here, and the way in which the crease has increased as the race has gone on. Not the other way around. Normally it decreases. Normally it fades and slips, but not in this instance. The pace is only intensified. It's only increased.
Yep.
So all those factors combined to get us to 20 and a little bit of overtime. Matty Dench, the leader. Corey Lazarus second, Daniel Sproul third, and now down the order, we got Aaron Cooper's there.
Yeah,
Aaron Cooper's there in fourth, and this big tank slab of a Cooper. He just barely hung on to it.
I wonder if Sproul might be getting into a little bit of fuel bother, as you said, going that extra lap. No one would have probably been anticipating that 20th lap.
There wouldn't have been too many of them anticipating it, Grant. Denchi certainly would have been across it, but not many others. And speaking of Denchi, there he is, final sector, final lap. Just doing what he continues to do each and every Monday and Thursday night. He's got a very commanding lead already in Monday Night Motorsport Waste Options GT3. Now in the Blackout Electrical Solutions Porsche Cup. This will be round victory number 3 of the season for him. He's going to do it in the fastest way. Let's wait and see what he punches out as that final lap time here. He's already got the fastest lap secure. He might just add insult to injury and rub salt into the wound. Matty Dench cleans up at the home of British Motorsport, the Silverstone Circuit, and he does it with a 194 as well. A 201.94 just to finish things off as he's easing out of the throttle across the start-finish line. The guy is just in a different postcode. In fact, he's on a completely different continent than the rest of them at the moment. That is how it's done, ladies and gentlemen. And he's just taught the entire field another lesson.
It's like he's got daylight saving and the others have not. They're about now behind.
Don't feed me straight lines, Grant. Brilliant. How about that?
Joe Baldwin, well done. 11th place.
That was
KFC vehicle.
Marvellous. Yeah, good on Joe. Getting it home in one piece. You'll be happy about that.
Dave Riddell, of course, Joe would prefer a 6-piece, but in one piece is just fine for the motor vehicle. 14th place for Dave Riddell, up 15 places, so great job by him. That was
marvellous stuff. Well done, one and all.
He just keeps finding ways to astound us, doesn't he?
Yeah, and I can't say we're surprised by any of it because, well, I mean, yeah, in one way, shape or form, we come to expect it. It's impressive when, you know, everything lines up for him. It didn't last week. It certainly did this week. He wanted to restore order after missing out on the W last week. He's certainly done that. It never ceases to amaze us what he brings to the table, but I still reckon there's a few people within the server that are caught off guard by the way in which Dench goes about his business. Just clinical yet again. Just masterful.
See what those Blackout boys have got to say about it, whether they thought they had a chance in there or if they knew he was up to shenanigans. But good time. We haven't been too diligent with thanking those that help us do what we do on a weekly basis. And of course, Waste Options, Blackout Electrical Solutions, tonight's sponsor, and sponsoring a large portion of the front of that pack as well. Login Systems bring you the Enduros every month. West Orange Motors is Dave May, who does a great job. Been a bit busy, I think, Dave May. Haven't seen a lot out of him the last week or so.
No, he has been busy.
But, you know, the big move out to West Orange there. Astute Finance, Insurance and Wealth in East Brisbane. And Fisher Door Lawyers, beyond and above. Flash Graphics, of course. Didn't John Simpson's liveries for the Interclub Challenge looked terrific with the red and the green, thankfully distinct from the mostly white livery of the Australian Supercar E-Series team, which was another great night. You can pick that up on our Facebook page and YouTube if you missed that. But to all those sponsors, thank you very much. And if you are a sponsor wanting to part yourself from some of your hard-earned, Wednesday nights is looking for a sponsor with the V8 Supercars. So if you're interested, you've got a few shekels to rub together, then contact the club management and see what you can do about a Wednesday night broadcast. And then we'll see if we can provide a broadcaster and commentary for it.
I'm not going to lie, Grant, just to wait for everyone to join us in the post-race show here. I'm really glad that I was able to make a joke about red flags on air earlier, because I've just realised through sifting through my Instagram story catalogue of, you know, different things that I can throw on the story, on the post, there's red flag emojis. It's fantastic. So expect a red flag gag from me a little bit later on this evening.
And that's
probably attached to the photo that I took of a bag of Bell's Ice earlier in the day as well. Matty Dench, too good, 2:01.94. To put it into context, Corey Lazarus's best lap of the race, and he finished with it on lap 20 as well, 2:03.10. So Dench put a second on the field as far as the fastest lap of the night was concerned. No one got within an earshot of Dench's time in the 2:03s, 2:02s. So 2:03s was the best the competition could offer up, as Dench punched out a 2:02 on the penultimate lap and a 2:01 on the final lap. And Joe Baldwin joins us at this point in time. There are the results from the Elite Cup split, ladies and gentlemen. 12 of them, a few non-finishers in all of that. In fact, Chuk Fung Wong was 3 laps off the finish, but still gets classified being in the server at the checkered flag. Dylan Shepherd, 6 laps from home, of course. Still not sure what happened there with the tech dropout or issue that he had. We've got Paul Wilson standing by to come and have a chat to us here as well. And there's plenty to chat about with regards to that open split. We've got Sean Rees, Pete Matson, Jonathan Hooper, Guy Leach, Dave Oliver, all retirements tonight. 6 of them not classified. Chuk Fung Wong will get classified, as I said, only 3 laps down, and in a 20-lap race that gets him past that 75% marker. In fact, he's at 85%, so he's okay as far as I'm concerned. We've got Kai Ardley standing by for a chat here as well. So let's get stuck into it. Trucker Joe, nice to have you on board again there on the other side of the nulla ball, mate. Silverstone, always a good racetrack. Threw up some good racing tonight. You had quite an okay night at the office there, mate. You worked your way up through the field cleanly. The key was staying out of trouble in that opening lap skirmish. It looks as though you were able to do that. And because, let's be perfectly honest, the Porsche looks finger-looking good, if you don't mind me saying so. In saying all of that, though, mate, from 20th up to 11th, a good night out.
Yeah, definitely, especially with the calibre of some of the drivers that we got in here. I had a great race actually with Paul, who's in the thing here now. I'm not sure what happened. He lost a bit of pace early on. I got past him and I thought, I might be on for a win here. But once the tyres wore, I lost a bit of pace and Paul just chased me down. And, it was a great race actually. It was nice and clean. Unfortunately, there was that skirmish at turn 1. I think I got up the inside of John Baldwin. No relation, of course, but I don't know whether or not he's seen me and was concentrating on me, and I think he just missed his brake marker, and that skittled 3 of them. So that was unfortunate for John. And then there was another bit of a skirmish a bit further around the lap. So it was just capitalising. I'd said to the guys, I think the key tonight is going to be staying out of trouble on lap 1, because these cars are notoriously difficult to stop at the best of times. But yeah, you can see there, John unfortunately missed his brake marker by about probably 10 or 15 metres, I suppose. And unfortunately for a couple of the guys, that's how it ended up. And another car there sideways, so it was wide eyes open.
They went everywhere.
I think that's Aaron.
And you're about to see one go upside down as well, and Stephen Gallacher as well. Watch this. Wait for it. He's trying to work his way through here, and then had nowhere to go. Bang!
Oh, whack.
And that's the thing. It is such a troubleshoot first corner, isn't it, Joe? Because you turn in blind, and you've got very little in the way of reaction time if there's something waiting for you on the other side.
Absolutely, it is. It's one of those tracks. It's probably the most un-British like track that we've got on the service. It's not like a lot of them being so flat, but it's still got the big sweeping corners. And turn 1 and Coppice as well is basically exactly the same, just on the other side of the circuit. Go and ask, Sir Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen what they think of that corner, but it's But it's very tricky. These cars are difficult at the best of times, and on such a high-speed flowing place like this, you've really got to hit your marks and look after the tyre and look after the brakes and try not to lock a wheel. And it's a very simple track to drive on because it's so wide. You can see all the apexes, you can see all the corners, but God damn it, it's hard to drive fast here. Aaron Cooper, Corey Lazarus and Smithy, they're no chumps, right? And Denchi's gapped them by over a second, and that just shows you, how good he is. But I go on board and try and pick stuff up from Denchi, and you get nothing. You don't sort of notice what he's doing different to you. He's just using all the track, turns in, point perfect every time. It's very hard, to get speed out of the cars like them guys. So I think the development series is good for me.
Yeah, mid-corner speed for Denchi, is what it's all about. And he only seems to use the throttle about half the lap.
Yeah, he does. He's amazing. I think he did 2 or 3 laps more than anybody else before he pitted, if memory serves me right.
And his
so
pit stop was about 3 seconds shorter as well.
Yeah, so he probably took... I mean, I know I put 17 litres in the car and finished with 2. I think I had enough for 1 more lap. So Denchi probably put 11 or 12 in, so there's your 3 seconds.
He took you a lap deeper as well. It would have been 19, except the pace of his outright pace, and certainly the pit stop took us to 20. So he's just another couple of steps up that ladder, isn't he? But good for you. Second place in Open Cup this evening. So Wilson pipped you, but a second.
He did a good job too. I tried to. I thought I might have had something for him early in the race there, but once I had a couple of slides and got a bit of heat into the tyres, and then he smoked me. So well done to him.
Indeed. It should propel you up the leaderboard a little bit. You're in 15th coming in tonight, but in fairly close company with a couple of other guys. You're up 9 places, I think, and Dave Riddell was up 15 just behind you there. But good outing for you guys. Well done indeed.
Yeah, thanks, mate. I think I actually missed the first couple of rounds of Porsche. I'm not sure. I think I might have missed one or had a shocker and old F4'd out of it. So once the drop rounds come into it,
didn't race the first and DNF the second. So So that's basically none from none. one
pretty
from 3.
much.
So well done.
I won't get any drop rounds, and I had a good week last week as well.
Excellent.
So hopefully I can continue on with decent form, I guess.
Very nicely done, Trucker. Let's have a look at where we're going next week, Grant, because I'm pretty sure we go back into sprint mode next Thursday night, May 18, when we bring you all the action from, if you don't mind, the Nürburgring, ladies and gentlemen. So, yes, from one Formula 1 Grand Prix circuit to a Formula 1. And then, of course, we continue that Formula 1 flavour, actually, throughout the rest of the season. Suzuka, Magny Corb, of course, again, current and former. Hockenheim, former. Red Bull, current. And the only exception to the rule there is, of course, Long Beach.
The Demolition Derby.
Yeah, looking forward. Yeah, sprint racing around Long Beach. Yeah, whoever thought that up, I mean, what sort of a nightmare were you having at the time, please?
Yeah, Matt might be taking that week off.
He might. It might be best advice. Actually, by that point, he might already have the championship wrapped up, right? He probably can afford to. We shouldn't joke. No. Joe, what are your thoughts on next week, mate?
Next week, not too bad. I don't mind that place, but I'm looking forward to Long Beach. I love that place. I enjoy it. Just all the road courses. Nürburgring is a track I enjoy driving. I'm not real good there. Suzuka, I might go to bed early for that one. I'm not real good there. I never have been. I don't know. And it's another one. I enjoy driving the circuit, but I'm not fast here. But bring on Magny-Cours. That place is going to be amazing with these cars.
Interesting thoughts from Joe Baldwin there. We'll be interested to find out what everyone else thinks about that, mate. Thanks for dropping on by for a chat tonight. I take it less said about the Renault Clio, the better.
Was I there? Was I? I can't remember.
Just a bit of PTSD going on there.
Just a little bit.
I'm going to give that car back to my daughter to run to Union back, I think.
I mentioned it in the broadcast. If you didn't like the TCRs, you certainly weren't going to like tonight.
No.
Funny that. That's actually my first race at that track too, and I'm glad it was free because who'd want to buy the place? Rudskigan. I might leave that one to the other boys. I think
it's a tricky bugger.
It is a tricky place, but it'd be fun in a good car, not in a shopping trolley, but that's all right.
That is, of course, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't mind, Joe Baldwin bringing his best material, his best G-rated material to GSRC Primetime, and we very much do appreciate that, mate. Very nicely done. Go well. Good to catch up with you, and we'll see you on Monday night.
Definitely.
There he is. A quick update from Thursday Night Football, much to my surprise. Melbourne 22 with a kick to come, leading Brisbane 10. So that just about puts the nail in the coffin and seals that victory to the Melbourne Storm. I was worried about how it might go, but Brisbane haven't brought their A game to Melbourne, and Melbourne will take the 2 points. So, yes, yours truly very happy about that. I can actually wear the Melbourne hat with pride tomorrow to the airport to pick Mum up. And probably again on Saturday night, just so that I've got something that fits in with sport attire when we go to the AFL. There are the results once more for those of you just tuning in. Paul Wilson's here on that note, and well done, mate. A rather comfortable win, it looks like, in the Porsche Open Split, but a fairly hectic race.
Push to talk,
I
Paul.
don't think... I was going to say, if you've got push to talk, Paul, get it organised, get it set up. We'll come back to you. Not even the lights are on, a bit like another Harold Holt situation. We've had a couple of them tonight. That's okay. I'll come back to Matty Dench and Corey Lazarus. Let's go to Kai Ardley in the meantime. We'll come back to Paul Wilson. Kai, 7th was where you started on the grid. You avoided the garbage at 1. It's being replayed on our screen right there. Where was the pace missing tonight, mate? Because, yes, you were 7th on the grid, but only got back to 6th, mate. Talk us through it.
Yeah, another recovery drive tonight, which isn't what I want. Just messed up, locked up, and then got spun around a little bit, sort of a half spin, and then got drilled on the front end and had no speed at all, and crooked steering, and just felt completely off for the first, up until the pit stop, to be honest. So only after the pit stop I was able to actually put some pace in there, and I was sticking it with the leaders on pace, but no chance with running around for 30 minutes with a damaged car tonight.
Well, there's two schools of thought there. I mean, there would have been, no doubt the thought in your mind, do I stop early, do I pit early here, to try and sort out the damage, get the fast repair and get on with it. But I think you also nailed the point as to why you didn't. If you didn't have slipstream, if you didn't have a dance partner around here, it's one of those circuits where horsepower is king, and if you can grab the toe, take it.
I think I was all right without the toe. I actually think I prefer it around here without the toe. If you get stuck behind someone, you really just rip up your tyres. But yeah, if I had to pit it early, to make it worth it, I wouldn't have been able to get enough fuel into the car. So I just thought, I'll just stick it out and see what I can get to. But pretty disappointing. Not a huge fan of all these F1 tracks that are on the calendar, to be honest. They're not my sort of thing. I prefer street circuits and that. I find these just a bit too open and a bit weird. They don't feel too great. But, just not a great result.
No, not a great result, mate. But, hey, at the end of the day, the race didn't end in turn 1. You scraped home to the finish line. You salvaged something. And there's still room to improve, and there's still time to move in this championship.
I mean, the championship's not over. I mean, the chances of winning are. But, there's just...
I think everybody's saying the same thing, mate, as long as Dench is in the server, but that's okay. Continue.
Yeah, just not a whole lot to say about it. It wasn't a whole lot of fun tonight.
All right, well, I won't stretch out the misery any further than I have to. Grant might have a question for you in a moment, but before he does jump in here, what are your thoughts on the Nürburgring next week? Again, another Formula 1 track.
I hate it.
All right, moving right along then. That being said, before you go, Kai, we go back to sprint racing next week, mate. So, 2 bites at the cherry.
Yeah, I think I prefer sprint racing. Longer races aren't that fun for me anymore. I used to love them, but I just find they're a bit of a drag and they're not full of action. I prefer racing against people, and longer races don't really provide for that. People tend to be a little bit more careful overall, so I think maybe the lively action of a sprint race will be a bit better for me.
All right, well, we're looking forward to it ourselves.
You dispatched the pink livery and put on Lightning McQueen for us tonight.
Yeah, I don't know. I watched Cars the other day and I thought might as well just chuck him on. It's better than pink, so...
Well done.
Why not?
Yeah, I think he had a black eye before the pit stop, so not looking too good out there.
He did. Had something in that left eye for sure. I think it was part of another Porsche.
Yeah, I think so.
Well done. You stuck it out.
It's
You haven't done too much damage to your overall score because you were travelling in third. No Shane Wright tonight, am I right? No Jordan Malcolm. Sam Sproul will have climbed up a little bit. Andrew Smith didn't have a great night as well, so you won't have done your standing too much damage there. But it's nicer if you can come away and say that was a fantastic race. Gee, I enjoyed that. But still travelling well in the scheme of things. So good on you.
Yeah, cool. Thanks, guys.
There we go. There he is. Hardly. Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. Not looking. As I said at the top, right, 7 of the calendar races or venues that we visit in this season, we've got Formula One history attached to them. Either that they're a current circuit or that they're a former circuit. So, not feeling right at home with them at the moment. Let's press on here. I'm going to test Paul Wilson again. Have we got you this time?
We'll have a go, mate. How we going?
That's better. Much better. Well done on the open split win, mate. You had to work hard for it, though.
Oh, it was a ball, mate. I had a bloody great time. It was got through the first lap, or just about. I ploughed into the back end of someone after right at the end of the first lap when somebody spun in front of two in front, I think, and. Kept it clean. Joe went past me at one stage and he was slowly creeping away, but he started to he was doing some mighty fine drifting through Maggots and Beckett's, and that was slowly but surely creeping me back up to him, and eventually got there and kept it clean and got it home. It was top 10 in this field. I'm stoked. That's brilliant.
Well, that's exactly right. More to the point, to be top 10 in this field in an open split capacity, that is something to be rather happy with, and I guess hold us a feather in the cap.
Yeah, mate, that's awesome, mate. The open split racing has been awesome for the last sort of 6 or 8 races with Dane, Jeff. Probably Steve got hammered this tonight, but look, there's about 8 or 10 blokes really in the mix, and it's been really cool. So, cheers, all really enjoying racing with you.
And how have you found the season so far, mate? Because we don't normally get to touch base with you, but we're glad that you're stopping by to have a chat to us here. The season so far, I mentioned it at the top with Grant there, 7 different Formula One circuits in the calendar, a couple of unknowns like at the Circuit de la Sarthe, and of course Long Beach thrown in for good measure. What have you made of the first 4 weeks?
It's been all right. Le Mans you can keep. I had the thirstiest car on earth. I agree on that track. Probably could have pitted 4 times for fuel, but 3 did me just. But look, I don't mind. Some of these tracks are tonight, for example, is one that I never really got into, but the more I race it, the more I'm enjoying it. Suzuka's similar. I like the Nürburgring GP, but I did the street tracks. You can't beat that, and I do like the sprint formats too. But 40 minutes is all right.
What about Sebring? We're taking a poll on who likes Sebring and who doesn't. So far, Nick Fodiatis doesn't. Everyone else does. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, put me down for a plus on that one. Love Sebring. I think bumpier the better.
Nick. It's literally just Nick that doesn't like it. I don't get it.
There's a couple of others. There's a couple of others in there that
no one voices it quite like Nick does. Nick and Sebring is a bit like me and Queensland during the summer months.
Yes.
Although Nick might lead me by a nose on that, actually.
Yes.
I'm a fan. I like the bumpy track, so I know it seems to be good in the sim. You seem to get a bit more feedback, so bumpier the better. Bring on Long Beach too. Yeah.
If you want bumpy, go for a drive around the streets of Cessnock next time you're in the New South Wales Hunter Valley. You'll feel right at home. All right. Hey, Paul, what else is keeping you busy as far as our GSRC competition is concerned, please?
Mate, as far as sim racing, this is it for me at the moment. I've not doing quite as much, but I'm just focusing on my Porsche. There's too many other things getting around, like getting up early for a surf. So I was burning the candle at both ends and it was killing me. So I've just backed off to one good race a week, and I'm thoroughly enjoying that. Coffs Harbour, mate. Coffs Harbour.
It's been pretty massive.
Part of the world.
I reckon you might have had a week off, haven't you? Or has it not been so bad?
No, No, I'll go and give it a crack in the morning. It's pretty solid. It didn't quite hit earlier in the week, but it's coming up nicely. It was pretty solid there today, but I didn't get out there.
All right, take it easy.
We'll have a crack. We'll see how we go.
I love driving through Coffs Harbour because it means that I can crank up Bon Jovi. We're halfway there on the trip to Cessnock to see Mum and Dad. I haven't stopped in Coffs Harbour for a while, though, outside of maybe lunch or dinner or whatever the time of day is when I'm passing through. But a lovely, lovely part of the world. I'm a little bit envious. I'm not going to lie. A, because, well, you've got all that seaside fanfare of the Gold Coast, but B, you actually observe daylight saving so you can make the most of it. Good on you, Paul. Thank you, mate.
Mate, thank you. And as someone who's got a family full of in-laws from Queensland, keep at 'em, mate. Give 'em heaps. Cheers, boys.
Taken,
thank you very
noted.
much.
Thank you. Well done. And yes, we're okay, Grant, because we are 27 minutes past that threshold of 9:30 for a little bit of the fruity tingle to fly. Let's press on here. Corey Lazarus and Matt Dench. Hey, Corey, you did such a great job of controlling that race, but if anything, you've only helped Matty Dench win another one.
Yeah, sort of didn't plan on going that way, but yeah, credit to Matty once again. He's just so good when it comes to fuel conservation in the pit stops. Do you know what I mean? We didn't really plan to run the race like that. It just sort of worked out, and yeah, well done to Matty. Just too good.
And quickly, while we've got you, sorry, Grant, I was just going to jump in here before we talk more about your race, Corey. Poor old Dylan Shepherd can't buy any bloody luck at the moment. Fair dinkum.
Yeah, do you know what happened? He went to deactivate his fuel warning, and he hit the wrong keys on his keyboard, and it turned his steering wheel into Xbox mode.
No. Oh, we thought it was a tech dropout. We seriously thought it was, one of those internet issues. What do they call it? Packet loss. We seriously thought it was one of those moments because of the way in which it just went hard left. Here it is again. Thank you, Grant, right on cue. So we didn't realise that there were commands that could do that. For those of us that don't have a sim rig, that don't understand the 101 of it, just talk us through how this happens and why this happens and why we can go from one mode to the other, if you don't mind.
I can't actually tell you because I don't really know it myself. But
okay,
he was just going through the process and hit the wrong keys on his keyboard. Yeah, all of a sudden he turned into an Xbox player.
Yeah, which immediately turned him hard left.
Case,
Look at that, just hard,
there it goes.
hard left. And that's all she wrote.
That is a guy that is due some luck, and it looked like he was having it. He was getting it in this race, and then all of a sudden, that catastrophic moment. Which changed the game of the race, because until then he was doing a nice job of just letting you build a buffer at the front and keeping Denchi at bay, but then all of a sudden, as soon as Denchi was released into the wild, by G, he wound the wick up.
Yeah, he did, mate. Absolutely. It's we sort of expected it as well. Do you know what I mean? When he's in, the quality of the man is just phenomenal. So as soon as you get clear air, then you see the lap time start coming in, and the pressure starts to build, and then. What do? You're a passenger. Do your best.
That's all you can do, Dylan. Corey, sorry. That's all you can do.
We wish Dylan the best of luck next week. No doubt he'll be
remapping
going over that steering wheel of his with a fine-tooth comb, making sure he doesn't hit the wrong button next week. Corey, we want to talk more about your race in the meanwhile, though, mate. You just continue racking up this consistency. You inherited the win last week. You back it up with another podium this week, mate. You're doing everything you can.
Yeah, absolutely. Feel like the perennial bridesmaid at the moment, but
exactly.
Quali was so disappointing. It was during the week, during practice on track conditions similar to this. I cracked into the ones numerous times, and I just could not get the tyres in sync. And quali today, it was really frustrating. So it sort of carried a bit of that frustration into the race. And I don't know, just sort of a happy-ish, but a bit of a mellow feeling right now as well, because you're trying so hard to, keep up.
It's almost deflating to a point. I mean, we're not surprised. We've seen this guy work his craft and ply his trade now too often to be surprised by it. But it's somewhat deflating and you go in with a profit and come out with a 4.5 second deficit after the pit cycle.
Yeah, couldn't believe it. Like, I knew it was going to be close. I didn't expect it to be a deficit that big for sure. It was, I made a couple of mistakes as well when Matty was in the pits on that lap, and I didn't lose much. It wouldn't have made much of an effect, but yeah, you know, there's that glimmer of hope before he goes into the pits, and you think you might have enough. And then when you see him coming out in front of you, like 3.4 seconds already in front, it's, yeah, that was like, I don't know, kicked a stone with a bare foot.
Yeah. Yes, his pit
Grant,
stop.
I would say the glimmer is looking rather glum at the moment, if you'll pardon the expression.
Not bad. His pit stop was 3 seconds quicker than yours as well, so there's a lot in that. So I don't think that's just not pushing the pit lane limiter. I think there's probably a couple of laps less fuel, definitely, because it was 2 or 3 laps
100%.
longer he stayed out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I could hear him when we're, you know, I'm trying to back him up on a corner exit and get away from him down the straights, but then when we get to the end of the straights, I can hear his car just go silent. So I know, you know, he's clutching and he's saving a ton. And, you know, we are not at that same skill level to be able to pull that manoeuvre off just yet.
No.
So you know it's coming.
You live and
know
learn.
he's going to be saving.
You'll live and learn.
Yeah. Definitely.
Well done, sir.
But it was good fun, mate. Like the first half of that race, when there was that little battle pack there. Once it started to develop as a little pack, then it became a game of, okay, we need to try and defend him as much as possible, and I'll have a go.
Yeah, well, in the early stages, there was 7 of you in that early pack, with very little separating everyone, and then it came down to the 4 of you, the 3 of you, because Sam Sproul's in your group, isn't he, or is he not?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Dylan and Sam are the teammates.
The 3 of you versus him, and that was looking interesting. It looked like Dylan might have just been backing that up a bit, because you're able to skip out to 1.5, and I think it got out to about 2, and then Matt decided I'll just put a bit of pressure, so he either speeds up or I get by him. But you know, made for interesting racing for us.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I hope the broadcast was entertaining for sure, because it was a bit of fun in the chat. And
excellent.
Yeah, once again, big congrats to Matty, mate. Just so good. Can't wait to just keep learning off him as we move forward.
Exactly. Thoughts on the Nürburgring before we let you go?
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I like all the tracks remaining on the calendar. The only one I have never driven is Long Beach, but happy with all of them. I really like them, and I love the Nürburgring.
All right, mate. Hey, we know it's just gone midnight there. Just before we let you go, just breaking in with the full-time score from AB Park in Melbourne. The amount of time off and stoppages in this game saw it start at 7:50 and blow out to a 10 p.m. finish. But in the end, yeah, the game of rugby league, it's supposed to be 80 minutes, and here we are, 2 hours and bloody 10 minutes later. But Melbourne have walked away with the points, 24-16 over Brisbane, so another loss for the Broncos there, despite the fact that, they went down to the Bunnies last week, then the 2 weeks ago they thumped Manly last week, so now they've met their match in Melbourne, and next week they come and play Penrith. Melbourne, of course, move on to play the Dolphins up here at Suncorp Stadium. Oh, that might be actually well worth the price of admission. ZW might grab a ticket and go to that. There you go. I didn't realise that was coming around as quickly as it is. Hey, Corey, mate, thanks for stopping on by and having a chat to us. We do appreciate that. Well done again. You're there or thereabouts. It's just now a matter of, as you say, keeping on learning from Matty Dench and finding a way to trip him up somehow.
Yeah, that's a guess. Thanks very much, guys. It was good fun, and well done, Matty. Awesome job.
All right, let's get to M. Dench, looking very good for title number 6 in both GT3 and Porsche Elite Cup, with thanks to Blackout Electrical Solutions. All right, Denchy, everyone's gone now. You can reveal your hand. That was tactical, surely, just sitting in there and biding your time and letting both Corey and Dylan Shepherd drag you along there?
Well, the plan was to just sit behind Corey and not have Dylan overtake me. I tried to place my car in a way to not let him by, but he ended up sending it through. So, then Corey kind of started creeping away, and Dylan was defending a bit, and I couldn't get by him until he had that issue with his wheelbase. So.
Actually, let's be perfectly honest. That was an impressive performance from Dylan Shepherd until it all went belly up, as we heard there a few moments ago. But he even caught us napping. Did he catch you off guard with the way he just licked the stamp and sent it right there?
Well, after a few laps, it just kind of looked like he was just happy to sit there, and I just sort of started going back to the normal racing line, and he just sent it in when I was letting off to save a bit of fuel. So.
And save fuel you did, actually. Let's talk about that, because you did a little bit of homework for us in the lead up to the start of the broadcast, and we thought, yep, okay, 16's manageable. If you save, about a third of a lap of fuel, get yourself to 16, top up, go home. We were anticipating 19 laps, but then when the pace intensified the way that it did, and we were no longer doing 205s, we were doing 203s, 202s, and you got us to 201s. 20 was doable. You got us to 20, but you also got to 17 laps. So how much fuel was left in the tank when you did decide to top up, please?
I only had to put about 9 litres in. That wasn't I was planning on trying to do a no stop if I could sit behind Corey and save the fuel, but it was going to be about 5 litres. So yeah, we're definitely going to be making a pit stop no matter what.
All right. Well, we figured as much. We started to speculate, but then I thought, no, not even you would be able to save 4 laps or 4.5 laps of fuel on a circuit as long as this and on a circuit as fast as this, Denchi. It just didn't seem feasible. So a quick splash and dash, and you're 2 seconds plus quicker through the pit transit than anybody else through the stop, at least, which is a testament to the fact that you only had to take on 3 laps of fuel, and everyone else was, a little bit drier than you were when they came into the lane, and they had to go a little bit further on whatever fuel they took on board as well. So all of those, you ticked all of those boxes. You save fuel, you stretch the stint, you have a short splash and dash, and you come out with a 4.5 second lead.
Yeah, the in lap at the pit stop was really, really fast lap. Like, it was going to be a low 202 itself, and then we kind of took it slightly easy in the braking zone in the pit lane, so I didn't want to get caught out speeding there. But overall the laps from the pit stop to the end were super fast. It was really good.
Very nicely done. What about the pressure from the likes of Lazarus and Shepard and Sproul? Were you worried at any point?
I wasn't too worried about falling back a little bit just because how much I was saving. But then when Corey started skipping away, I didn't really want to be losing any spots. I kind of wanted to push on forward to try and run him down.
All right, very nicely done. Grata, have you got anything for Denchi here? Because I run out of questions each and every week because it's cut, paste,
we've covered
go through the motions.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of it.
Stamp and repeat.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of it just in the general discussion with those that he's vanquished. So I think it's just for all of us to sit back and learn and sit back and admire
and marvel.
The capacity that this bloke has to not only manage the race car around the course, but also plan his strategy and execute that and work with things that might not have been in the front of his mind when he started the race. So as we keep saying, it's wonderful to have someone of the calibre of Matthew in the server and willing to share some setups here and there and give us some deceptively inaccurate information on some people trying to do a one-stop tonight. But it's all part of the fun and games. It keeps us on our toes, and so interesting to have him about, and always love him popping in and sharing his accounts with us.
Denchi, Grant mentioned it earlier that you might take Long Beach off. What about the rest of the calendar, please?
I'm really looking forward to the rest of the calendar. They're all really, really fun tracks. So.
And this is the problem too, Grant. When he says he's worried about a track, he still comes out and does good. But when he's looking forward to it, everyone should be just a little bit more worried than what they already were.
Yes, indeed. Yes, and I guess the sprint at Long Beach, if you have a calamity in one of them, at least you can pick up some half points and then call that your drop round. So it's it's just another shot across the bows of all the other boys, and they're back to spending 30 and 40 hours rather than just 20 hours in the sim trying to catch him.
Exactly. Prayed across too, by the way, that we don't get a safety car at Suzuka. We've been there and gone through that calamity. Oh, geez, that would almost be the equivalent of sitting there and waiting for the third coming across. It would be it would actually, the old saying that people use when they've got something they're not interested in, it'd be like watching paint dry.
Yes.
So I mean, with very flash race cars passing by your post, but still, yeah, race cars are meant to go fast. So. Looking forward to the second half of the season. Denchi controlled that beautifully tonight. I mean, he didn't have control in the first half. He just followed the leader, but it was all tactical. It was all gamesmanship. It's what we've become accustomed to now. In the name of a little bit of fuel saving, to save a little bit of, to stretch the tank a little bit further, to save a little bit of time on pit lane. This guy's the master of it, and he's going to be the leader of the championship after round 4. Denchi, well done. We'll give everybody an early mark tonight because we finished late last week, but well done. Looking forward to seeing what you bring to the table for the final 6 rounds of the season. And of course, after the hit out around Long Beach the other night being 90 minutes for GT3, we of course aren't checking in with GT3 Pro at the moment, but we are looking forward to following the progress of that. We will have a couple more broadcast races for Pro as we edge towards the back end of the season. I know Bathurst and the Red Bull Ring are included in those, but it's nice, isn't it, that we get to this point of the season. You've ticked all your boxes and hit all your markers in GT3 thus far. Under the smallest slight blip in the road here in the Porsches, everything is looking good for title number 6 in both.
Yeah, GT3s has gone pretty flawlessly so far, and hopefully we can continue that on for GT3 and Porsche Cup. So.
I mean, obviously it was a little bit disappointing to have that little blip last week, but what a way to bounce back and send the message again, eh?
Yeah, well, that's it. Like we still got across the line in front, which is a pretty good statement in itself. If we cop a penalty and drop a couple of spots, it is what it is.
And also as well, Denchi, while we've got you, the pace warmed up as we got to the back end of this thing. So, I mean, what do you put that down to? Because is it that the tyres aren't warming up quick enough? Is it everybody's fuel saving or attempting to fuel save, I should say? Are there other factors that we're missing on the broadcast? Because I couldn't believe how quickly we went from 205s to, well, then 204s pretty consistently. Then we slipped into the 203s. And then at the end, you come out and punch out a 2 and a 1 consecutive laps and make everyone else look silly.
I think at the start, pretty sure Corey was saving a bit of fuel as well and just trying to be a bit easier on the tyres at the start there. And we just bring up our tyres nice and slow, and that just, it really sets the car up after the pit stop to run really quick.
All right, mate. Very nicely done. Congratulations to you. Another great win. First and second finished exactly where they started. The big movers for the night included Joe Baldwin up 9 spots, Dave Riddell up 15, and not much else beyond that. The big losers, unfortunately, anyone that was caught up in garbage along the way. Guy Leach lost 16 spots with his skirmish. Pete Matson lost 3. Chuk Fung Wong lost 7. Dylan Shepherd, with that catastrophic moment, dropped 14. So a case of what might have been for a few. If you kept your nose clean through turn 1, the rest of it was fairly plain, smooth sailing, but not to be in the end for those guys that caught out on the opening lap. And that it is a challenging first corner here, isn't it? I know we've still got Corey with us, so I might get him to come back in for a moment and have a chat here. Silverstone's one of those tricky tracks, isn't it, boys? Because that exit off the first corner, you're flying blind. So you two had the best seat in the house, being top of town, front row. Everybody else would have been on edge going into turn 1.
Yeah, you're right. That it's deceptive actually going into T1 because you feel like you're approaching it really slowly, and then it just creeps up on you, and your car's got cold tires. You easily understeer and create havoc if you're not careful. But yeah, it is quite tricky actually. That first sequence 1, 2, 3, and 4 is actually quite tricky off the start for sure.
Yeah, exactly right. However, that being said, this extension of the circuit came into play in 2010. It has certainly added to the spectacle. It lends itself to good racing. This little arena layout. We enjoy coming here, but more so tonight. Yeah, Stephen Gallagher didn't necessarily enjoy it. Have a look at that. But tonight especially, Matty Dench and Corey Lazarus have enjoyed it more than anybody else. Sam Sproul up from 6th to 3rd was also impressive. Hey boys, get out of here, get some sleep. Thank you for that. Well done, and looking forward to checking in again same time next week.
Thanks very much, guys. See you then.
Good on you, fellas.
And I think the other point as well that we should note with regards to the Nürburgring is it is a sprint next week, which will be of only minimal concern to Matty Dench, Grant Gill, as we wrap up here, because he started slowly but surely to find a way to navigate his way through those invert situations when at one point in time they were a massive Achilles heel for him.
Yeah, I think it's incredibly reflective of just the way he's going about all his racing now. Confident in his outright speed, confident in his racecraft, and he can afford to just take it a little bit easier and take a few moments to see what some of those other drivers are doing in front of him, and then pick a spot to get through, knowing that he can close down just about any gap that we've seen. So it's just strength to strength for the bugger.
All right, mate. What else caught your eye tonight? What else impressed you? What didn't?
I guess the response to the Clio Cups. I think our straw poll came out about 9-1 of those that weren't too keen on the vehicle to those that were.
9.9 actually to 0.1 by the sound of it.
Well, one of the fellas was particularly happy with the vehicle, so. Look, I think it's just continuing on with fantastic racing. We did get some good racing, especially in the reverse grid in the Clios, with the Whitakers and Lavis and what have you through there. Well done to Schmidtke for having a good run up the front there and presenting himself rather nicely to the broadcast. And then, tonight is what it is. It's the clinic class was in. The Blackout boys giving it their best, and there was a catastrophic failure for Dylan, who will be kicking himself for his passion fingers. But he's it's still presenting some good racing, and it's Silverstone 101, corner 1. In the wall, into another car, off the track, and that's the frustrating part of this sim racing is you can put in a good week's worth of practice and then still be off at the first corner with no chance of going anywhere. So the highs and lows, I guess, and just another good Thursday night, I'd say.
It's always a good Thursday night when we go sim racing in any way, shape or form, in any capacity. It's good fun. We've enjoyed it again. We hope you have at home as well. Thanks, mate, for all your work throughout the course of the evening. Looking forward to doing it again. Same time, same place next week. What is it, about 165 hours away? GSRC.inc, if you want to get your hands on any of our Gentlemen's Sim Racing Club merchandise, attire, apparel, you name it, insert the verb there. GSRC GT3 Endurance Championship, with thanks to Login Systems, returns for the penultimate round 4 of Season A of 2023. Of course, we split it up into our regular stuffs, get split up into 4 equal 10-week terms. Our GSRC GT3 Endurance Championship gets split into 2 5-round campaigns across the semesters. So the 2 terms are 1, 2, and 3, 4. Sunday, May 28th, 4 hours around Road Atlanta. Really looking forward to that. Liam Banks and Sam Chapman will have the call for you from I believe it's 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then I might have to come in and give him a hand at the start of that last one. Grant, you can never say no to Bathurst.
You love your Bathurst.
8 hours around Mount Panorama. Mate, I loved going back there. I can't believe it was 5 weeks ago now, but I loved going back there for Easter. Just a shame I'm still paying the price for it, but that's another story.
And that'll be the EOFY version of the Enduro. The end of financial year, you are banging on the door. Get your taxes ready. We'll be off for another financial year before you know it.
And paying more tax before you know it as well. But yes, that'll be on the cusp of the 2-week break mid-season that we all look forward to. Here's a look at what's coming away across the platforms of the GSRC tomorrow night. Alton Park for the USF 2000s in Wings and Slicks. Saturday night, Mountain Men in the current spec Porsches.
This one?
And that's 30. Sorry?
The one they've had this evening.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, we're not going to Bathurst this season in the Porsche Cup. You may as well go and get some laps around there in that car on Saturday night in the Mountain Men Series. It's been struggling to get some numbers, but I think that comes back to what Paul Wilson's been was saying there earlier, that because we're now juggling more than we've ever juggled, Grant. We're all busier with our 9 to 5 stuff and our everyday lives, our outside of home lives than we've been before COVID, during COVID, etc. We're trying to fit some of the stuff like sim racing that kept us somewhat sane during COVID. We're trying to keep that there in the background as well and juggle. And occasionally, you end up burning the candle at both ends, and you need to take a step back and prioritise. And we know that a few of our guys haven't been able to commit to full campaigns anymore because their work and business is creeping in. So I can understand why the Mountain Men's been somewhat struggling, because Saturday night's a big night. People go out to music, to theatres, to concerts, to whatever, to sporting events. Or they're out, enjoying a weekend away with the kids, with the family, whatever the case may be. So I can understand that. But if you're not doing anything Saturday night, the eve of Mother's Day, get into the Porsche 992s for 32 laps around Mount Panorama. Monday night, the Circuit de Jerez for the for the Waste Options GT4 Championship, 25-minute race there from 7:35 Eastern Standard Time, followed by the Waste Options GT3 Championship sprint racing from the Hockenheimring in Germany. Looking forward to that immensely. Tuesday night.
Did you say something about not viewing the pros for a little while, or?
Yes, so Monday night we're back to the AM split, I do believe. Just double check that with
the schedule's
with Adam Lavis.
Yeah, the schedule's not updating us.
Originally at the start of the year, we were, or at the start of the term, I should say, we were going to alternate for weeks 4, 5, 6, 7 between Pro MM, etc. But now M is just one split. Adam will be the judge of that. You can have that discussion with him tomorrow. He might be able to give us a rougher idea of where we're going and how we're doing it, but I do believe it's M split again.
Okay, copy that.
On that Monday night from the Hockenheimring, Circuit de Jerez for GT4, Hockenheim for GT3, and all European flavour on Monday night Motorsport next time around. Tuesday night, the up-and-comers, yet to be confirmed where we're going, but we're in the Toyota 86 for heat racing. Wednesday night, off to Sandown for the Formula Fords. That'll be well worth the price of admission. Road Course A for the supercars around Homestead, Miami for 60 minutes there on Wednesday night as well. Thursday night, back on air, Grant and I doing what we do best, or attempt to do best at least.
What we do.
Off to Magny Court.
Let's leave it just at what we do.
Yeah, exactly. In the Toyota 86 around the circuit there in France. 7:30 we're with you. 2 sprint races getting underway, and then straight off to the Nürburgring after that for 2 sprint races again. So it's a sprint flavour right across the board next week. As far as our broadcast is concerned, sprint racing Monday night, sprint racing Thursday night, off to the Nürburgring for the Blackout Electrical Solutions Porsche Cup, the 5th round of the championship, by which point we'll be at the halfway point, the mark of the season. So looking forward to that immensely. Grant.
I just said, wow, halfway mark already, but that's after next week.
We couldn't do it without the great support of the great people scrolling across the bottom of your screen here, ladies and gentlemen. We don't plug them enough, but they get their logos splashed everywhere during the broadcast. Blackout Electrical Solutions, Login Systems, of course, West Orange Motors, the great people at Astute, Finance, Insurance and Wealth in East Brisbane, Fisher and Door Lawyers. They'll have me as a client before too long. Flash Graphics, of course. Good on you, Johnny. and Waste Options, the naming rights sponsor of everything, on a Monday night.
With regards to
we appreciate
sponsors,
the great support of that.
as Bullwinkle always used to say, there's always room for one more. If you want to pick up a broadcast of Wednesday night with the Formula Fords and the V8 supercars, the previous generation, of course, talk to the boys in charge, and they'd love to take your money off you and put your logo up all over our broadcast like these guys do have. But that'll do us.
Yeah, exactly. A couple of quick plugs on the way out. Next week, if I'm sounding a little bit tired and lethargic, it's because I'm on double duty next week. So Monday through Friday, I'm playing Plan B, filling in for Rachel Vickery on the drive home on West Bremen Radio. So you can stream that if you please, and then come and listen to me do my better work here on the platforms of the GSRC Monday and Thursday night. So next week I'm going to be well and truly shagged by the time we get to the end of it. As far as the rest of it's concerned, there's some great motorsport coming away this weekend. Good luck to everyone heading down to Phillip Island. Of course, the latest round of the Shannon Speed Series. Good luck to Chris Whitaker and others heading out to Morgan Park Raceway in Warwick for the Historics this weekend. There's plenty to look forward to there. But more importantly, Grant, before we leave tonight, happy Mother's Day to all the beautiful mums out there for Sunday as well. Absolutely. I'm very lucky. Mine's visiting Queensland to spend Mother's Day up here for the first time. And unfortunately, I'm being treated to a night at the AFL where she will have her Essendon attire draped all over her. And no doubt it'll be a very quiet trip home because Brisbane will probably towel them up. And I've already said that if she misbehaves because of her one-eyed nature as a football supporter, security will be asked to remove her from the premises. But that's another story.
You mean it'll be as unexpected as watching Matt Dench race the result?
Yeah, exactly. No, great night here. We enjoyed it immensely. CW cleaned up at the Ridge-Kogan Motor Centre with the Rd-4 Clio. Matty Dench did what he usually does on a Thursday night in the Porsche Cup and cleaned up once more. Well done to Paul Wilson on the open split win as well. Well done to Grant Gill on his efforts there in trying conditions, producing and directing the broadcast for you. Again, happy Mother's Day to all the mums out there. We hope you get spoilt rotten. We love you. We love what you do for us. And none of it's possible without you. And also, of course, the contributing participants from the male side of things. But that's another story. Hope you enjoyed it. We look forward to your company again on Monday night. But for now, on behalf of Grant Gill and the rest of the broadcast commentary and production team here at the platforms of the Gentlemen's Sim Racing Club, I'm Zach Cabin. Until we see you for the start of week 5 of term 2, bye for now.